Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Here to bring in the movie of What If Peter entered Snoot game. Link down description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Prologue. Wish received. Universe 616 New York City. The city never slept. But tonight, Peter Parker wished it would. He sat on a rooftop, legs dangling over the edge, mask in his hands, the sprawl of Manhattan bleeding light beneath him like a wound that refused to heal. Sirens wailed in the distance. Somewhere down there, someone was getting robbed, and he wasn't swinging in to stop them. Not tonight. Tonight, he was thinking. The aftermath of Superior Spider-Man had gutted him in ways no villain ever had. Otto Octavius had taken his body, ruined his life, wore his face like a cheap mask and turned everything Peter had built into ash. And the worst part, no one noticed. Not the Avengers, not the Fantastic Four, not the X-Men, none of the great heroes of Earth 616 saw the difference between Peter Parker and the man who had stolen his life. Because that would have required them to admit they'd been fooled. That a villain had outsmarted them all. Easier to blame the dead man walking. Peter closed his eyes. Their words still burned. Aunt May, you helped that monstrous Spider-Man take this entire city hostage. I don't know who you are anymore. Mary Jane, you left me without a word. Used me like some cheap comfort. I don't even know you. Leave me alone. For good. Miles, dude, you straight up wanted to kill me last time we met. Stay the fuck away from me and my mom, you freak. Tony Stark, you're no better than Osborn. I've already seized Parker Industries. Surrender. Permanently. Captain America, 24 hours. Surrender to S.H.I.E.L.D. as Spider-Man, or take off the mask and submit to Reed's procedure. If you don't, I'll put you down. For good. Reed Richards, after what you've done, you leave us no choice. The machine is ready. No more science. No more experiments. Nothing that risks another life. Peter opened his eyes. None of them had asked. None of them had listened. They saw a man in a mask doing terrible things, and they assumed it was him. Because that was easier, simpler, less painful than admitting their own failure. And now New York hated him. The heroes hated him. The people he'd saved 1,000 times over hated him. Because Otto Octavius had worn his face. And Peter was tired. He was so tired. Peter, quietly, to no one, forget them. Forget them all. He stared at the sky. The stars were hidden behind light pollution. The moon was a pale smear behind clouds that refused to rain. Peter, if anything, I wish I was somewhere else. The portal opened beneath him. No warning, no sound, no dramatic crackle of energy. Just a sudden absence of rooftop, and then, gravity. Peter, falling, ow. He hit something hard. An alleyway. His backpack, thankfully, broke most of the fall. Peter, groaning, staring up at the sky. Note to self. Wishes do come true. He pushed himself up, slowly, carefully, and froze. Something was different. His body felt lighter. Stronger. Not in the usual Spider-Man way, but deeper. Like something had been unlocked beneath his skin, something that had always been there but had never been awake. He looked at his hands. They were the same hands. Same scars. Same calluses. But they weren't. More defined. More capable. And his veins were glowing. Faintly. Faintly. Blue-white light, pulsing under his skin like a second heartbeat. Peter, staring, what the? The glow faded. But the feeling remained. Cosmic energy. Flowing through him like a second bloodstream. He didn't understand it. Couldn't control it. But it was there, a residue of something vast and terrible and ancient, burned into his cells like a brand. He grabbed his backpack, still intact, still containing his spare suit, his web shooters, his mask, and stumbled toward the alley's exit. The light hit him. He stepped out. And froze. The street, day. Dinosaurs. Not fossils. Not skeletons. Living, breathing, walking dinosaurs. Anthropomorphic. Standing on two legs. Wearing clothes. Carrying bags. Checking their phones. An iguanodon in a business suit walked past a pterodactyl in a sundress. A triceratops teenager laughed with a raptor friend. A brachiosaurus leaned against a building, scrolling through something on a tablet. And humans. Humans were there too. Walking alongside them. Not many, maybe 1 in 20, but they were there. Peter, internal, why does this almost feel familiar? Like I've seen something like this before. He didn't have time to process it. A group of teenagers glanced his way, curious, suspicious, hungry for something different. He pulled his hood up, adjusted his backpack, stepped into the crowd. He blended in. He always blended in. The first few weeks were a blur. Peter Parker didn't exist here. No S.H.I.E.L.D., no Avengers, no Otto Octavius. No one knew his face, his name, or his past. So he became someone else. Peter Grimstone. It wasn't clever. It wasn't creative, but it was his. He found a bank, run by a very polite stegosaurus named Margie who spoke with a slight lisp and wore reading glasses on the tip of her snout, and opened an account. He found an apartment, small, cramped, on the edge of town, with a window that didn't quite close and a neighbor who played music too loud, and paid the first month's rent with money he'd saved from odd jobs. He worked construction during the day, delivered packages at night, fixed broken electronics for neighbors who couldn't afford new ones. He earned about $1,000 in the first 2 weeks. It wasn't much, but it was enough, and he learned, fast, because that's what he did. He observed, adapted, survived. The world was called something. He hadn't caught the name yet. The city was called Volcano, named after the massive dormant volcano that loomed over everything, a constant reminder that nothing was permanent. The dinosaurs called themselves Saurians. They had their own culture, their own history, their own politics. Humans were a minority, not oppressed, exactly, but other. Tolerated, not quite trusted. Peter didn't care about any of that. He cared about staying alive. He made rules for himself. Rule 1. Don't draw attention. No heroics, no speeches, no quipping at criminals. He was just another face in the crowd. Rule 2. Learn everything. The culture, the laws, the danger zones, who to trust and who to avoid. Rule 3. Don't get attached. He'd learned that lesson the hard way. Twice. Rule 4. Keep moving. The moment he stopped, the past would catch up. He broke Rule 1 on his 3rd week. Part 4. The suit. His old Spider-Man suit was in his backpack, torn, damaged, stained with memories he didn't want to relive. He couldn't wear it here. Too recognizable. Too Earth. But the portal had done something else. The cosmic energy flowing through his veins had changed the suit. Nanites, impossibly advanced, had woven themselves into the fabric, reshaping it, rebuilding it. The new suit was different. Darker. Red and deep navy, almost black in low light. The eye lenses were sharper, more aggressive, like a predator sizing up its prey. The webbing was subtle, almost armored. Practical. Not flashy. It looked like something Peter would have designed if he'd had the time, the resources, and the peace to think clearly. He tested it one night. Swung through the city, low and fast, sticking to shadows, learning the skyline. He stopped a robbery. 3 Saurians with guns, holding up a convenience store run by an elderly human couple. He didn't think. He just moved. Webs. Fists. A venom blast that shorted out their weapons. The Saurians ran. The human couple stared at him, not with fear, but with amazement. Curiosity. Human cashier, whispering, who are you? Peter didn't answer. He just swung away. But he heard the phones clicking. Saw the flash of cameras. Tomorrow, there would be videos. Posts. Speculation. Spider-Person seen in Volcano City. Not Spider-Man. Spider-Person. That was new. Part 5. Volcano High. Peter needed a degree. Not because he wanted one. He'd learned more from life than any classroom could teach, but because this world ran on paper. Credentials. Proof. He found a school online. Volcano High. Peter, reading the website, muttering, Volcano High. Weird name. He paused, then shrugged. Peter, normally, I'd care about normalcy. But at this point, I'd rather exchange it for weirdness. He applied. Online. The form asked for his species. He checked, human. The form asked for previous education. He lied. The form asked for references. He left them blank. A week later, he was accepted. He learned later that Volcano High was a mostly Saurian school. Humans were rare, there were maybe a handful enrolled. One of them was named Anon. Peter didn't know anything about him. Didn't care to. He wasn't here to make friends. He was here to survive. And maybe, to figure out what the cosmic energy inside him was, and why he could feel it growing. Volcano High was a sprawling campus built into the lower slopes of the dormant volcano. Stone and glass and steel, with massive doorways designed for Saurian students and smaller human-sized doors tucked beside them like afterthoughts. Peter walked through the main entrance, hood up, head down, backpack slung over one shoulder. He felt eyes on him. Dozens of them. Saurian eyes, mostly. Curious. Hostile. Hungry. He ignored them. His first class was biology. Taught by a stegosaurus named Dr. Thorne who spoke in a slow, deliberate monotone that made the subject somehow more interesting than it had any right to be. Peter sat in the back. Took notes. Didn't speak. A raptor sat to his left, jittery, twitchy, with feathers that shifted color based on his mood. He kept glancing at Peter like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Raptor. Whispering, "Hey. Human." Peter didn't look up. Raptor. "Hey, I'm talking to you." Peter. Still not looking up, "I noticed." Raptor. "You're new, right? Never seen you before." Peter. Observant. The raptor's feathers flushed orange. Annoyance, but he didn't back off. Raptor. "Name's Dane. Dane Swiftclaw. What's yours?" Peter finally looked up. His eyes were flat, tired, unreadable. Peter. Grimstone. Peter Grimstone. Dane. Cool name. Very human. Quote. Peter. "That's because I am." Dane. "Obviously. I meant, never mind." He leaned closer, feathers shifting to a curious yellow. Dane. "So, Pete. You got a death wish or something? Coming here?" Peter. "It's a school. Not a battlefield." Dane. "You'd think that. But humans don't exactly have the best track record at Volcano High. Last one who enrolled transferred out after a week. Said the pressure was too much." Peter. "I'm not the last one." Dane. "No, you're not." The raptor grinned, sharp teeth, sharp eyes, sharp everything. Dane. "This is gonna be interesting." Peter turned back to his notes. Peter. "Probably not." Part 7. The Incident. It happened on day 3. Peter was walking through the courtyard, heading to lunch, minding his own business, when he heard the commotion. A group of Saurians had cornered someone. A human. Smaller than Peter, younger, with glasses and a backpack that had been torn open, its contents scattered across the ground. Saurian thug. A large, heavy-set Carnotaurus. "What's the matter, little human? Can't handle a little roughhousing?" The human, Anon, Peter realized, didn't respond. He just stared at the ground, waiting for it to be over. Peter kept walking. "Not my problem. Not my fight." Rule 1. He passed them. Kept walking. Stopped. Rule 1. He closed his eyes. Rule 1. He turned around. Peter. "Hey." The Carnotaurus looked up. His friends, 2 raptors and a small Pachycephalosaurus, turned to face him. Carnotaurus. "What did you say?" Peter. "I said hey." He walked toward them, slow, unhurried, calm. "You're blocking the path." Carnotaurus. "So." Peter. "So move." The Carnotaurus laughed. It was a deep, rumbling sound, like rocks grinding together. Carnotaurus. "You think you can tell me what to do, little human?" Peter. "I'm not telling you. I'm asking." Quote. He stopped a few feet away. Hands in his pockets. Expression neutral. Peter. Politely. The Carnotaurus stopped laughing. He stepped forward, chest puffed, arms spread, trying to use his size to intimidate. Carnotaurus. "You should walk away while you still can." Peter. "I should do a lot of things." The Carnotaurus swung. Peter didn't dodge. He didn't need to. His hand came up, caught the massive fist mid-swing, and held. The Carnotaurus's eyes went wide. Peter. Quietly, I said move. Quote. He squeezed. Not hard. Just enough. Enough to make the Carnotaurus wince. Enough to make him understand. The Carnotaurus pulled his hand back, stumbling, off balance, and stared at Peter like he'd seen a ghost. Carnotaurus. What are you? Peter. Tired. He stepped past them, knelt in front of Anon, and started picking up the scattered papers. Peter. You okay? Anon stared at him, eyes wide, mouth open. Anon. You just. Peter. Picked up some papers. Yeah. He handed the stack back. Peter. You should be more careful. Lots of stairs around here. He stood, walked away. Behind him, the Carnotaurus and his friends didn't follow. Part 8, The Rooftop. That night, Peter sat on the roof of his apartment building, new suit under his clothes, mask in his pocket, and looked out at the city. Volcano City was strange, beautiful, dangerous. The Saurians were strange, beautiful, dangerous. And somewhere out there, a new life was waiting for him. Peter, to himself, quiet, forget them. Forget them all. He exhaled. Peter, time to start over. He put on the mask. And swung. Chapter 1, First day of Volcano High. Peter's apartment, morning. The alarm blared. Peter Parker, no, Peter Grimstone, reached out from under the blanket and slapped the clock into silence. For a moment, he just lay there, staring at the ceiling. No supervillains. No world-ending threats. No Avengers breathing down his neck. Just a normal day. The police could handle the normal robbers. He sat up, swung his legs over the side of the bed, stood. The routine was automatic now. Wash face, brush teeth, eat a Pop-Tart, strawberry, because strawberry was the only flavor that mattered. Pack a turkey sandwich and an energy drink into his backpack alongside his new notebook, pens, phone, and tablet. The phone was surprisingly new. Better than anything he'd had in 616. The tablet too. Peter Grimstone, to himself, quiet, a new universe. I know I should probably let the old self go. He zipped his backpack, this is a new life. He slung the bag over his shoulders and left the apartment. The day was nice. Not too sunny, not too cloudy. The people, Saurians and humans alike, walked alongside each other with an ease that still felt strange to Peter. Back in 616, humans were the majority. Here, he was the minority. It was refreshing, in a way. No one expected anything from him. He arrived at the entrance of Volcano High. Students hung out in clusters before class, talking, laughing, scrolling through their phones. Peter slowed his pace, letting his enhanced hearing drift over the conversations. Student 1, to a friend, did you hear the rumors from last week? Student 2, rumors. Student 1, yeah, I heard some new kids are transferring to Volcano High this week. Student 2, no way, really. Another group. Student 3, dude, did you see the spider person beating criminals last night? Student 4, oh yeah, I saw it. That was so sick. Peter's expression didn't change. Neutral. Controlled. They're talking about me, not Spider-Man. Spider person. And they don't know it's me. A group of girls gossiped nearby, taking selfies. Girl 1, did you see the spider person? He was awesome last night. Girl 2, the guy is, like, so mysterious. No one knows who he is. She sighed dramatically, I wonder if a guy that hot is single. Peter walked faster. Another group of guys, playing games on their phones. Guy 1, yo, did you see the spider person fighting those goons last night? He was amazing. Guy 2, hell yeah. He was like a ninja on the rooftops. Kicking ass and everything. Peter slipped through the doors and into the school. Part 3, the hallways. The hallways were crowded, saurians of every species, size, and color. Peter kept his head down, scanning for signs that might lead him to the principal's office. He stopped mid-stride. A female Parasaurolophus was heading his way, crest tall, scales a warm amber, eyes bright and friendly. She spotted him and smiled. Naomi, oh hey, I guess you must be the new student. Surprised they actually let another human attend Volcano High. Peter Grimstone, neutral, yeah. Rather surprising that the school is popular. Naomi, Volcano High is pretty popular among teens. She tilted her head, it's kinda surprising, though, to see another human here. You're only the second human I know of here. Peter's eyes narrowed slightly. Second human. That meant Anon was real. Peter Grimstone, yeah, it is, shocking. He shifted his backpack, anyway, do you know where the principal's office is? First time in the school. Naomi, follow me, I know where it's located. She turned and walked. Peter followed. As they moved through the hallways, whispers trailed behind them. Student 1, stage whisper, dude, look at the new guy. Student 2, he looks human, doesn't he? Student 3, yeah, I heard some people saying there was a new human student here. I didn't believe it. Peter heard every word. His expression didn't change. Naomi didn't seem to notice the stares. She was too busy leading the way. Part 4, the principal's office. Principal's office, door. Naomi knocked. Principal, inside, come in. The door opened. Peter stepped inside, and stopped. The principal was, not what he expected. Principal Spheres looked like a caveman. But civilized, old, wise. His eyes were calm but sharp. Naomi, we have a new student, Principal Spheres. Principal Spheres, I can see that. He gestured with his head, come in. Have a seat. Peter sat. Professional. Controlled. He'd done this 100 times in his old life, facing principals, teachers, authority figures. The trick was to say just enough and no more. Principal Spheres, reading a file, I see you have pretty good grades in math and science. It's not every day I meet someone with an IQ like yours. Peter Grimstone, I've always been studying a lot. Principal Spheres, good, good. He flipped a page, your academic record is impressive. But there's something else that caught my attention. Peter's spine straightened slightly. Peter Grimstone, which class am I going to? Principal Spheres, oh, I have your classes in order. Don't worry about that. He closed the file and leaned forward, I just have one personal question for you. Nothing serious. Peter Grimstone, carefully, okay. Go ahead. Principal Spheres, how well do you handle stress? Peter didn't blink. Peter Grimstone, I guess you could say I'm the kind of guy who prefers not to be rushed. I always keep it professional. Principal Spheres, nodding slowly, good. Good. Do you know why I asked that question? Peter Grimstone, I'm kind of curious, yeah. Principal Spheres, the students here, a lot of them tend to be energetic, to put it simply. I've seen a lot of students come through, great intellect, good grades. But they usually have a hard time here. Peter's jaw tightened. Yeah, I know how that goes. Peter Grimstone, I've dealt with that kind of thing before. Principal Spheres, leaning forward, eyes sharp, you sound like you speak from experience. Peter Grimstone, carefully, let's just say I've had some experience. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. The principal studied him for a long moment. Then he leaned back. Principal Spheres, how well do you deal with socialization? Peter Grimstone, I've worked jobs that required socializing with customers. I'd say my social skills are functional. Minimum, but functional. Principal Spheres, but still functional enough to hold conversations. Peter Grimstone, yeah. Principal Spheres, and you can talk to people you just met without getting overwhelmed. Or anxious. Peter thought about it. About the panic attacks. About the nights he'd spent alone because being around people felt like too much. Peter Grimstone, quietly, number. Not really. Principal Spheres was silent for a moment. Then he nodded. Principal Spheres, I see. He opened the file again, well. Considering your test scores, you'll be in advanced placement. AP class. You're one of the highest intelligence students in this school. Peter Grimstone, standing, thank you. Principal Spheres, waving a hand, dismissed. Peter left. Part 5, the AP class. Hallway, outside principal's office. Naomi was still there, leaning against the wall. Naomi, cheerful, so. How'd it go? Peter Grimstone, it went good. He glanced at her, what kind of advanced class am I going to? Naomi, since you're one of the smartest students here, you're probably gonna be in the highest level, AP class. She started walking, come on. I'll show you. They walked through the hallways. More stairs. More whispers. Peter ignored them. Naomi, glancing at him, by the way, have you noticed that some students have been staring at you? Peter Grimstone, flat, yeah. Surprised to see another human besides myself. Naomi, that makes sense. We don't really get a lot of human students around here. They stopped in front of a door. Naomi, well, here it is. AP class. She smiled, have fun. She walked away. Peter opened the door. AP classroom. Every head turned. Peter stood in the doorway, human, alone, under the gaze of 24 Saurian students. Whispers rippled through the room like wind through grass. The teacher, a female stegosaurus with kind eyes and a no-nonsense posture, stood at the podium. Teacher, gesturing, you must be the new student. Come up here, please. Peter walked to the front of the class. His footsteps were steady. His face was neutral, but his spider sense was humming, not with danger, but with attention. Too many eyes. Too many questions. Teacher, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Peter looked out at the class. Inhaled. Exhaled. Peter Grimstone. Flat, calm, hello, everyone. My name is Peter Grimstone. It's nice to meet you all. Silence. Then a hand went up. Student. Hey. I have a question. Peter Grimstone. Yeah. What is it? Student. Hesitant. You're a human, right? Peter Grimstone. No hesitation. Yeah. I'm a human. The whispers exploded. Teacher. Raising her voice. Quiet down, everyone. The room fell silent. Teacher. To Peter. You can go take a seat for now. Peter nodded and walked toward the empty desks. Desk. Next to a green stegosaurus. The student next to him was a stegosaurus, green scales, bright eyes, and an energy that seemed to radiate from her like heat from a radiator. She was practically bouncing in her seat. Stella. Whispering excitedly, hey. You're the new student, right? Peter sat down. Peter Grimstone. Quiet, yeah. I'm the new student. Stella. Grinning, cool. Welcome to Volcano High. I'm Stella. She reached out her hand. Peter looked at it for a moment, then shook it. Her grip was firm, friendly. Peter Grimstone. Nodding, Peter. Stella. Still grinning, nice to meet you, Peter. AP class, in progress. The teacher was lecturing. Peter was taking notes, fast, efficient, his handwriting small and precise. Stella was, struggling. He could see it out of the corner of his eye. The way she kept erasing her answers. The way her brow furrowed. The way her pen hovered over the page like she was afraid to commit. Should I help? Peter's mind flickered through the options. She didn't ask. But she needs it. But she might not want it. But. He leaned closer. Peter Grimstone. Whispering, need some help. Stella's head snapped toward him. Surprise. Then relief. Stella. Whispering, yeah. I'm having some trouble with a few questions. Peter Grimstone. Quiet, which ones? She pointed. Math problems. Nothing too advanced, but tricky if you didn't know the shortcuts. Peter leaned in. His voice was low, patient, precise. He explained the concepts, walked her through the steps, and by the time the bell rang, she'd finished the entire sheet. Stella. Whispering, relieved, I really owe ya one. Peter Grimstone. Shrugging, nah. It's nothing. Stella. Packing her bag, no, really. You saved my ass. Peter didn't reply. He just zipped his backpack and stood. Hallway. Stella fell into step beside him, her energy undimmed. Stella. Cheerful, you know, no one usually helps me with assignments. They just turn a blind eye. But you actually helped. She smiled, I really appreciate it. Peter Grimstone. Quiet, helping people's what I do. Even if it's the small things. Stella. Tilting her head, really? So you just help people. Even for the small things. Peter Grimstone. Looking ahead, someone taught me about responsibility. Stella. Oh, someone like your parents. Peter's expression flickered, just for a moment. Peter Grimstone. Quiet, they passed away. Stella's cheerful expression dropped. Stella. Softly, I'm sorry for your loss. Peter Grimstone. Shaking his head, I was sad. But I can't grieve about the past forever. They would have wanted me to move on. He glanced at her, let's change the topic. What are you interested in? Stella's eyes lit up. Stella. Grinning, anime. I'm a huge otaku. I love anime with a burning passion. Peter Grimstone. Slightly surprised, I'm honestly surprised by that response. Stella. Laughing, yup. Major anime junkie. I could rant for hours, days, even weeks about anime. Peter Grimstone. Small grin, you sound like a hardcore otaku. Stella. Proud, yup. Hardcore otaku, right here. Part 9, Science class. Science classroom. They sat at a lab table near the window. Peter pulled out his notebook. Stella pulled out her phone. Stella. Looks like we got here earlier than most people. Peter Grimstone. Glancing around, yeah. Guess we're pretty early. Stella. Leaning back, this is a good thing, though. We get a few minutes of peace and quiet before the teacher barges in and starts class. The teacher arrived. Class began. Peter took notes. Stella took notes. Around them, other students slouched, scrolled through their phones, or stared blankly at the board. Stella, whispering, glancing at a group of lazy students. Man, they really don't seem to care much about the class. Peter Grimstone, not looking up. Their loss. The bell rang. Stella, stretching, thank God. Class is finally over. She stood, you coming? Peter Grimstone, standing, yeah. I packed my lunch. Cafeteria. They sat at a table near the back, away from the crowds, away from the noise. Peter pulled out his turkey sandwich and energy drink. Stella had a tray of something that looked vaguely like spaghetti. Stella, taking a bite, hey, can I ask you something? Peter Grimstone, chewing, sure. Stella, swallowing, you know, I just realized something. You're the only human here. I find it kind of impressive how you don't get too much attention. Or people staring at you. Peter Grimstone, flat, I'm just good at keeping to myself. Not drawing attention. Stella, nodding, yeah, I can tell. You do keep to yourself. You're not the most social guy out there. Peter Grimstone, quiet, let's just say my past life gave me some trust issues. I'd rather not talk about it. Stella, softening, I understand. She gave him a small, sympathetic smile. Peter Grimstone, changing the subject anyway. What anime do you watch? I'm more of a science geek myself. Stella's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Stella, enthusiastic, oh, I watch so many. Where do I begin? Peter Grimstone, small grin, start with your favorite. Stella, thinking, well, since you're a science geek, you probably like sci-fi anime. Peter Grimstone, nodding, I do. I prefer sci-fi over meaningless fighting anime. I like studying the technology, figuring out how it works. Maybe use it to help people. Clean energy. Environmental restoration. Cybernetics for people who are crippled or disabled. Stella listened intently, her expression soft. Stella, genuine, that's really admirable. Wanting to use technology to help people instead of for war. Peter Grimstone, quiet, yeah. Well, he looked down at his sandwich, some people don't see it that way. Stella, tilting her head, you sound like you've had bad experiences. Peter Grimstone, bitter, low, you could say that. A pause. Stella, gently, you know, you're kind of the first friend I've made here. Peter looked up. Peter Grimstone, surprised, really? Stella, nodding, really? Peter Grimstone, after a moment. You're the first friend I've ever made. Period. Stella's expression flickered, sadness, sympathy, something warmer underneath. Stella, quiet, that sounds really lonely. Peter Grimstone, shrugging, I had a friend once. A billionaire. But he did some stuff I didn't agree with. So I broke up with him. Stella, eyes wide, a billionaire. She paused, what did he do? Peter Grimstone, flat, he used technology for the wrong reasons. Questionable methods. I couldn't stay. Stella, nodding slowly, that makes sense. She smiled, your parents must have raised you right. Peter Grimstone, quiet, almost to himself, they did. They taught me something I've never forgotten. Stella, curious, what's that? Peter looked at her. For a moment, he was back in 616, standing in a hallway, listening to Uncle Ben's voice. Peter Grimstone, soft, with great power, comes great responsibility. Stella was silent for a moment. Then she smiled, warm, genuine. Stella, quiet, that's a good saying. Peter Grimstone, nodding, yeah. It is. Part 11, After School. Volcano High, exit. The final bell rang. Students poured out of the building, laughing, talking, heading home. Peter walked alone, backpack slung over one shoulder, eyes on the sky. It was different here. The clouds, the light, the way the sun hit the mountains in the distance. He didn't care about the 616 universe anymore. This was his life now. Peter Grimstone, to himself, quiet, new universe. New name, new start. He walked toward his apartment. Behind him, Volcano High loomed, full of students who didn't know his past, teachers who didn't judge him, and at least one stegosaurus who thought he was worth talking to. It wasn't much, but it was something. Chapter 2, The Chief's Judgment. Saturday morning, Peter's apartment. The sun rose over Volcano City, painting the sky in shades of amber and gold. The dormant volcano loomed in the distance, steam rising from its peak in lazy spirals. Saturday. No school. Peter Grimstone was already awake. He stood in his small kitchen, if you could call it that, drinking coffee from a chipped mug and staring at his budget spreadsheet on the tablet. Numbers scrolled across the screen. Rent, utilities, groceries, school tuition. $2,000 saved so far. Not enough. Never enough. Peter Grimstone, to himself, muttering, gotta bump up the hours. He set down the mug and grabbed his jacket. Part-time work, morning shift. The construction site was loud, jackhammers, saws, Saurian workers shouting over the noise. Peter hauled lumber, mixed cement, and kept his head down. The foreman, a burly ankylosaurus named Thorn, had learned not to micromanage him. Thorn, grunting, Grimstone. You're faster than half my crew. You sure you're not part Saurian? Peter Grimstone, flat, pretty sure. Thorn, chuckling, kids got jokes. Peter didn't correct him. By noon, he'd earned another $100. Afternoon shift, package delivery. The delivery van was cramped, but Peter didn't mind. He liked the solitude, the rhythm of it. Grab package, check address, drive, repeat. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Unknown. Hey, it's Stella. Got your number from the school directory. Hope that's okay, smiley face. Peter stared at the screen for a long moment. First friend. He typed back. Peter, it's okay. What's up? Stella. Just wanted to say hi. Also, there's an anime convention next weekend. You should come. Peter, I'm not really into conventions. Stella, come on. It'll be fun. Plus, they have a tech exhibit. You'd probably love it. Peter hesitated. Peter, I'll think about it. Stella, that's not a no. I'll take it. He put the phone away. Almost smiled. Almost. Evening, the rooftop. The sun had set. The city had come alive. Neon signs, street vendors, the distant wail of sirens. Peter stood on a rooftop, his civilian clothes replaced by the suit. Dark red, deep navy, angular lenses glowing faintly in the shadows. Spider person, to himself, time to work. He leapt. Crime Stoppers, night shift. The first robbery was a convenience store, 3 Saurian thugs with guns, threatening a human cashier. Spider person landed behind them. Silent. Thug 1, snarling, empty the register or all. Spider person, you'll what? The thugs spun around. Thug 2, who the hell? Web, face, stick. Thug 3, it's the spider. Venom blast. Short, controlled. The thug's gun sparked and died in his hand. The third thug ran. Spider person caught him with a webline to the ankle and reeled him back like a fish. Spider person, to the cashier, call the police. They'll be here in 5. Cashier, staring, you're the spider person. Spider person, yeah, stay safe. He swung away. The second bust was a weapon smuggling ring, underground warehouse, crates of illegal tech, a dozen armed Saurians. Spider person didn't bother with stealth. He dropped through the skylight, glass shattering around him, and landed in the center of the room. Smuggler leader, a massive tyrannosaur with cybernetic implants, kill him. They tried. Spider person moved through them like smoke. Webs, fists, venom blasts. He didn't kill, he never killed, but he made sure they wouldn't be getting up anytime soon. The tyrannosaur lunged. Spider person sidestepped, caught the massive arm, and used the dinosaur's own momentum to slam him into the ground. Spider person, crouching beside him, where's the shipment going? Tyrannosaur, groaning, go to hell. Spider person, been there. Didn't like it. Try again. The tyrannosaur snarled, and then his eyes went wide. Tyrannosaur, you're just a kid. Spider person, lenses narrowing, and you're going to jail. Answer the question. Tyrannosaur, north, across the border, some human supremacist group. Spider person went very still. Human supremacist. Spider person, quiet, where north? Tyrannosaur, I don't know the exact location. They contact us through dead drops. Spider person stood, tied him up, left him for the police. But the seed had been planted. Human supremacists. In this world too. He swung away, the weight settling in his chest. The news 11 p.m. The female Raptor news anchor smiled at the camera, professional, polished, hungry for ratings. Female news reporter, breaking news tonight. A mysterious vigilante, dubbed Spider Person by the public, has been active in Volcano City for the past several days. Sources say he stopped multiple robberies, dismantled a weapon smuggling ring, and even assisted local police in capturing several high-profile criminals. B-roll footage played, blurry videos from phones, security camera clips, a dark figure swinging between buildings, too fast to track. Female news reporter, police have not released an official statement, but our sources indicate that the department is divided on how to handle this new player. Some see Spider-Person as a dangerous vigilante taking the law into his own hands. Others. She paused, dramatic. Female news reporter, see him as a hero. Police headquarters, Chief Kato's office. Chief Kato watched the broadcast from his desk, arms crossed, expression unreadable. He was a seasoned officer. A veteran. He'd seen vigilantes before, cowls and capes and masks, and he'd never trusted a single one of them. But this one was different. Efficient, disciplined, non-lethal. And that was what bothered him most. Chief Kato, growling, "Who the hell is he?" just showed up out of nowhere. He stood, walked to the window, looked out at the city, his city, and tried to ignore the feeling that he was losing control. Chief Kato, to himself, no more waiting. Time to find out. The rooftop, midnight. Spider-Person sat on the edge of a building, legs dangling over the void, mask in his hands. The city sprawled beneath him, a carpet of light and shadow. He was thinking about 616 again. Stop it. He closed his eyes. Just stop it. The click of a gun. Spider-Person's lenses snapped open. He turned his head, slowly, carefully, and found himself staring down the barrel of a service revolver. Chief Kato stood behind him. The gun didn't waver. Chief Kato, you've been making a name for yourself for a single vigilante. Spider-Person didn't move. His spider sense was silent, no danger, just curiosity. Spider-Person, lucky officer. I don't want to cause any trouble. But I won't fight you. I'm not here to brag or anything like that. I just help people because it's the right thing to do. The chief's eyes narrowed. Chief Kato, the right thing. That's what they all say. Until they start killing. Until they decide the law doesn't apply to them. Spider-Person, I'm not them. Chief Kato, prove it. Spider-Person was quiet for a moment. Then, slowly, he reached up. The nanites in his suit responded, retracting the mask, revealing his face to the night air. Chief Kato's eyes widened. He was young, too young, 17, maybe, human, exhausted, with shadows under his eyes that spoke of sleepless nights and older griefs. Chief Kato, a teenager. Spider-Person, calm, yeah, I am. He kept his hands visible. Non-threatening. Chief Kato, lowering the gun slightly, you're just a kid. Spider-Person, I'm aware. The chief stared at him, really stared, and something in his expression shifted. The hostility didn't vanish, but it mellowed. Became something closer to curiosity. Chief Kato, why? Why are you doing this? Spider-Person looked out at the city. Spider-Person, I lost my family when I was young. His voice was quiet, steady, you have no idea what that felt like. Deep down, I want revenge. Against the people who took them from me. But I realized revenge doesn't mean taking another man's life. He turned back to the chief. Spider-Person, they taught me well. Raised me right. They told me, with great power comes great responsibility. Like helping people, even with the small stuff. Because the small stuff matters. Chief Kato was silent. The gun lowered further. Chief Kato, quiet, they wanted you to move on. Use your powers responsibly. Spider-Person, yes, sir. The chief holstered his weapon. He stood there, older, wearier, carrying his own weight, and looked at the teenager on the rooftop. A kid who had lost everything and chosen to help others instead of burning the world down. Chief Kato, gruff, you're still breaking the law. Spider-Person, I know. Chief Kato, and you're still a vigilante. Spider-Person, I know. Chief Kato, but you're not stupid. And you're not cruel. He turned away, walked toward the staircase, and paused at the top. Chief Kato, not looking back, I won't reveal your identity. Not yet, but I'll be watching, Spider-Person. The moment you cross the line, I'll take you down myself. Spider-Person, understood, sir. The chief descended the stairs. Spider-Person sat alone on the rooftop, the mask still in his hands. Spider person, to himself, quiet, that could have gone worse. He pulled the mask back on. The nanites sealed it in place. Then he stood, and swung. Midnight patrol. The city blurred beneath him. Streets empty. Windows dark. The occasional car, the occasional drunk stumbling home. Similarities. He couldn't stop thinking about it. In 616, he'd had friends. Harry Osborn, who became the Green Goblin. Gwen Stacy, who died because of him. MJ, who couldn't look at him without seeing Otto Octavius's face. But here he had Stella. A Stegosaurus who loved anime and didn't know his past. Didn't know about the superior Spider-Man. Didn't know about the bodies Otto had left in his wake. Maybe that's a good thing. He landed on a rooftop, breathed, and tried to clear his head. Spider person, to himself, stop it. Just stop it. I shouldn't think about the past. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath. Spider person, damn it. I need to focus. The past is the past. Focus on the present, on this new life. He thought about the good moments. The convenience store owner who had smiled at him. The human cashier who had said thank you like it meant something. Stella, laughing in the cafeteria, her eyes bright, her energy warm. Spider person, quiet, one day at a time. He took another breath. Then another. And when he opened his eyes, the city was still there. Waiting. Meanwhile, police headquarters. Chief Kato sat in his office, staring at the ceiling. The kid's face was burned into his memory. The exhaustion, the grief, the resolve. Chief Kato, to himself, with great power comes great responsibility. He shook his head. Chief Kato, damn kids. Making me feel things. He picked up his phone. Dialed. Dispatcher. Chief, what's your location? Chief Kato, I'm at headquarters. Listen, I want all units to stand down on the spider person situation. No more active pursuit. If he interferes with a crime scene, document it and let him work. Dispatcher, surprised, sir. Are you sure? Chief Kato, I'm sure. He's not the problem. He hung up, and for the first time in weeks, he slept. Epilogue, Peter's apartment. Peter Grimstone crawled through his window at 3 a.m. The suit retracted into its compact form, stored in a hidden compartment in his backpack. He pulled on sweatpants and a hoodie, made a cup of instant ramen, sat on the floor of his empty apartment and ate in silence. His phone buzzed. Stella. Hey, did you think about the convention? Peter stared at the screen. Peter, maybe. Stella, maybe is not no. Peter, it's also not yes. Stella, I'll take it. Night, Peter. Peter, night, Stella. He set the phone down. First friend. He finished his ramen, brushed his teeth, collapsed into bed, and dreamed of nothing at all. Chapter 3, Secret Out. Volcano City, morning. The city was still waking up when Peter heard the scream. He was on a rooftop, suit on, mask off, eating a protein bar between patrols. The scream came from an alley 2 blocks over. Female. Terrified. Peter was moving before he finished chewing. He landed on a fire escape, looked down, and assessed the situation. One mugger, male saurian, roughly 6 feet, holding a knife to a dinosaur woman's throat. Her purse was already on the ground, contents spilling out. Classic mugging. No finesse. No backup. Just desperation in a blade. This world's no different from 616. He dropped. The mugger never saw him coming. One web line yanked the knife away. A second web line pinned the mugger's arm to the wall. A third wrapped his legs. The dinosaur woman stumbled back, gasping. Spider person, helping her up. You okay, ma'am? Dinosaur woman, shaking, but relieved. Why yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. He handed her purse back. She grabbed it with trembling hands. Dinosaur woman, who are you? Spider person, already turning away, just someone who was in the neighborhood. He backflipped off the wall, shot a web line, and swung away. Alleyway, moments later. Peter landed in a quiet alley, far from the crime scene, far from prying eyes. He tapped his watch. The nanites retracted, the suit dissolving into the device in a shimmer of red and blue. He grabbed his backpack from where he'd hidden it on a ceiling pipe and pulled out his hoodie. Peter, to himself, exhaling, okay. I should probably. Feminine voice, Behind him, awestruck holy sh*t. You are. Peter's blood went cold. He turned. A purple triceratops stood at the mouth of the alley, phone raised, camera pointed directly at him. Her eyes were wide. Her jaw was slack. It was Trish, one of the popular kids. Fang's friend circle. Peter's face went pale. Completely pale. Peter, holding up his hands, I can explain. Trish, grinning, already backing away, I have to tell everyone at school. She ran. Peter, calling after her, wait, Trish. She was gone. Peter stood alone in the alley, his heart pounding, his mind racing. The video was already sent. The secret was already out. Just like that. Years of hiding. Gone. Peter, to himself, furious, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. He grabbed his backpack and ran. Volcano High, entrance. Peter made it to school in record time. Different routes. Shortcuts. Back alleys. He was breathing hard, not from exertion, but from dread. He rounded the corner to the main entrance and stopped. Every head turned. Students stood in clusters, phones in hands, eyes on him. The video was playing on a dozen screens. Spider person landing in an alley, the suit retracting, Peter Grimstone's face revealed. Student 1, whispering, that was really him in the video. Student 2, shocked, so he really is that spider person. Peter forced himself to walk forward. His face was neutral, but his heart was a drumline. His spider sense was humming, not with danger, but with attention. Too many eyes. Too many questions. Student 3, louder, what the hell? Spider person is a kid. Student 4, angry, how the hell do we have a kid running around fighting our city's criminals? Peter stopped. Raised his hands. Peter, trying to sound calm, look. Whatever you saw on the phone, it isn't true. An unimpressed student crossed her arms. Student 5, a science project. Really? You expect us to buy that? Student 6, scoffing, yeah, that's total bullshit. Like you were just testing for some science project. Peter's jaw tightened. He needed a cover. Fast. Peter, okay, first of all, the suit itself was made of nanotech. Which I made. By myself. So yeah, it was a test to see if it worked. Technically, yes, the suit was made from nanites. A few students looked intrigued. Student 7, raising an eyebrow, wait, you made the suit yourself? Using nanotech? Are you sure this is just a science project and not you being that vigilante? Peter, carefully, the spider person is human. So technically, it could be some random person. And it's not me. Student 5, rolling her eyes, yeah, right. And let me guess, the spider person just so happens to look a lot like you, too. That's one big coincidence. Peter pivoted. Peter, well, I am a science geek. After all, I do help him with improving his tech. Helping him fight crime by using some gizmos and gadgets. The student raised an eyebrow. Student 7, hold up. You actually help the spider person with tech stuff. That's actually kinda cool. Student 8, sarcastic, oh, so the spider person has a little tech geek to help him out. How cute. Student 2, so you're like his little tech buddy or something. You probably just build him stuff and sit back while he gets the action. Peter, flat, technically, without my help, he'd be useless. I consider him more like a partner. Trish, shoving through the crowd, that's AFC King Lai. She stood in front of him, arms crossed, smirk firmly in place. Trish, bullshit. You're telling us that you and the spider person are just partners. That you actually help with the fighting and stuff. You expect us to believe that. The crowd murmured. Student 3, and why would the spider person need your lame ass as a partner anyway? He seems like he can handle things just fine by himself. Peter, quiet, well, technically, he did reveal his identity. I mean, he might have a family. If he did reveal his identity, someone might actually target them. That's why heroes have secret identities. A few students nodded. Others scoffed. Student 4, yeah, fair enough. But he's still the one out there actually fighting and doing the hero stuff. What exactly do you do other than build him stuff? Student 6, yeah, you're just building him gizmos and gadgets. That doesn't exactly make you equal partners. You're more like a tech support sidekick or something. Trish stepped closer. Got right in his face. Trish, Smirking, I know you're really that spider guy. Admit it. You think just because you're putting on that nerdy kid act that nobody will suspect you. But I've got you figured out. Student 7. To Trish, whoa, so you really think he's that spider person? Like, 100%. Trish. Nodding, hell yeah. Look at his nervous ass face. He's totally acting guilty. The crowd stared at Peter. Waiting. Peter exhaled. No more lies. Peter. Quiet, fine. The crowd went silent. Peter. Louder, fine. You want the truth. I'm spider person. I got bitten by a radioactive spider when I was 14. I've been doing this ever since. Gasps. Murmurs. Phones raised higher. Student 4. Wait, you got your powers from a freaking radioactive spider. Student 7. And you've been doing this whole vigilante stuff behind our backs this whole time. And we had no freaking idea. Peter. Steady, yeah. So go ahead and hate me. Because I don't deserve any praise or anything like that. I'm just a guy doing what's right. Even helping with the small things. Silence. Then, Student 5, holy hell. We've been going to school with the guy who's been catching all those criminals. And we had no damn idea. Student 6, and he just comes out and tells us. Just like that. Peter turned to Trish. Peter, flat what? Are you satisfied now? Trish smirked, folding her arms. Trish, damn right I am. I'm the one who found out your secret. So I get to take all the credit. Peter didn't respond. He just walked past her, through the crowd, and into the school. Behind him, the whispers followed like a shadow. Volcano High, math classroom. Everyone turned when Peter walked in. The news had spread. Phones were out. Whispers filled the air like static. Peter kept his head down, walked to his seat, and sat. He pulled out his math sheet. He didn't look at anyone. Teacher, noticing the tension, all right, settle down, everyone. Enough with the whispers and stares. Please take your seats and open your math books. The class quieted, but the stares remained. Peter worked. Fast. Efficient. He finished the sheet before half the class was done. He didn't say a word. Gymnasium. The class had changed into PE uniforms. Peter stood at the edge of the gym, arms crossed, watching as the other students stretched and joked. Then they noticed him. Or rather, they noticed his body. Beneath the hoodies and baggy clothes, Peter was built. Lean, muscular. Athletic. The kind of physique that came from years of combat training, rooftop running, and gym sessions on weekends. Student 1. Whispering to a friend, damn. Who would have thought the nerdy kid was actually that ripped? Student 2. Yeah, seriously. He's got a body like an athlete. Who would have thought he was hiding that under those dorky clothes? Student 3. He looks like he could kick ass if he wanted to. Look at those muscles. And all this time I just thought of him as some weak little science geek. Peter ignored them. The teacher split the class into teams for dodgeball. Trish and her crew on one side. Peter and a handful of random students on the other. Peter, to himself, quiet, no more holding back. Dodgeball. The whistle blew. Peter moved. He wasn't using his full strength, that would kill someone. But he stopped pretending to be weak. He dodged, weaved, caught, threw. A ball flew at his face. His spider sense screamed. He caught it, inches from his nose, without looking. Peter, to Trish, calm, you really think I'm weak, huh? Trish stared, eyes wide. Trish, frustrated, come on. I thought you were just a nerdy weakling. How the hell are you moving and catching like that? Peter, flat, did you forget that I'm that spider guy? Put 2 and 2 together. Remember, you took that video of me. Trish's face went red. The other students watched in awe as Peter caught ball after ball, threw them back with precision, and never once got hit. Student 4, no way. He's not even using his full strength and he's still catching everything. This is insane. Peter caught another ball, held it, looked at the opposing team. Peter, quiet, trust me. If I did use my full strength, you'd be dead. The students shuddered. Student 5, damn, we'd be screwed if he used his full strength on us. Peter turned to Trish. Peter, someone once told me, with great power comes great responsibility. Quote. He tossed the ball in his hand. Peter, tell me, Trish. If you had powers, what would you do? Use them to hurt people. Watch them suffer. Trish faltered. Trish, defensive, well. I mean, if I had powers, I wouldn't want to use them to hurt people, unless they deserved it. Peter, raising an eyebrow, and who decides who deserves it? You. Trish, stumbling, well, yeah. I mean, if someone is doing something really bad, then they kinda deserve it, right? Peter, and what if that person has a family? People who care about them. Does that change anything? Trish was silent. Peter, what if that person has a kid? A parent? A little sibling? What then? Trish looked away. Peter, what if that person still has the potential to change? To become better? Would you still cross that line? He pointed at himself. Peter, well, guess what? When I gained these powers, I didn't go around becoming some psychopath. I didn't think I was better than everyone. I use my powers responsibly. To help those in need. Even with the small stuff. Even with the mundane. His voice hardened. Peter, that is what makes me a hero. The gym was silent. Peter, heroism isn't about using your powers to beat up bad people and feel superior. It's about responsibility. Accountability. Using your abilities selflessly for the greater good. He looked at Trish, really looked at her. Peter, it's about protecting the weak. Helping those in need. Putting the lives of others before your own. That's what it means to be a hero. Not a bully with superpowers. The whistle blew. Class ended. Peter walked away. Trish stood frozen, her face unreadable. Cafeteria, Peter's table. Peter sat alone, turkey sandwich in one hand, energy drink in the other. He'd found a table in the corner, away from the whispers, away from the stares. Stella, appearing beside him, practically vibrating, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe it. You really are a real superhero. Peter sighed. Peter, look, I'd prefer not revealing my identity to the whole world. I don't want to be famous or anything like that. Stella slid into the seat across from him, her eyes sparkling. Stella, I can't believe it. You're the real deal. A genuine superhero. Peter, flat vigilante. Stella, waving a hand, whatever. You're still the guy who's been out there saving people's asses. Risking your life and everything. Peter, taking a bite of his sandwich, I just do what needs to be done. Stella, scoffing, PFF'd. Come on, don't pretend like you're not some kind of hero. You've been out there kicking butt and saving the day. Peter, shrugging, I stop bad guys when I see them. That's all. Not a big deal. Stella leaned closer. Stella, softer, why did you become a hero? Peter set down his sandwich. Peter, quiet, that's why I prefer keeping my identity safe. Everyone at school knows now. Imagine if one of my family members was still alive. Some crook might break into my house and kill them. He looked at her, really looked. Peter, that's why heroes have secret identities. Stella's expression softened. Stella, I get it. Keeping your identity safe is important. If some bad guys found out who you were, they could target your family, or your friends. She nodded. Stella, I can see why you wouldn't want that. Peter, exactly. It's all about protecting the people I care about. Stella, respectfully, damn. That's noble. Risking yourself to keep everyone else safe. Peter, small grin, I wouldn't say noble. Just smart and cautious. Stella, rolling her eyes, oh, come on. Don't give me that crap. You're a damn hero and you know it. Peter chuckled. Peter, alright. You're persistent, I'll give you that. But I still prefer, vigilante, over, hero. Sounds cooler, you know. Stella, laughing, you're impossible. Fine, if you prefer, vigilante, so much, I'll call you that. But you'll still be a hero in my book. Peter, smirking, good. Because, vigilante, definitely sounds way more badass. After school, the rooftop. Peter sat on the edge of the roof, mask off, hood up, looking out at the city. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and gold. The volcano loomed in the distance, steam rising from its peak. His phone buzzed. Stella, hey, you okay? Today was, a lot. Peter, I've had worse. Stella, that's not reassuring. Peter, it wasn't meant to be. A pause. Stella, for what it's worth. I think you're brave, not because of the powers. Because you keep going, even when it's hard. Peter stared at the screen. Peter, thanks, Stella. Stella, anytime, vigilante, smiley face. He put the phone away. The city hummed beneath him, alive, chaotic, his. Peter, to himself, quiet one day at a time. He pulled on the mask. And swung. Meanwhile, police headquarters. Chief Cato watched the news reports. Spider-Person's identity had been leaked. The whole city knew he was a student at Volcano High. A kid. Chief Cato, to himself, damn it. He picked up his phone. Dialed. Dispatcher. Chief Cato, increase patrols near Volcano High. Plainclothes only. And if anyone tries to go after that kid. He paused. Chief Cato, bring them to me. He hung up. He'd made a promise. He intended to keep it. Chapter 4, The Calm Before. Volcano High, Monday morning. The weekend had been strange. Peter spent most of it working, construction on Saturday morning, deliveries in the afternoon, patrols at night. He avoided the news, avoided social media, avoided anything that might remind him that the entire school, the entire city, now knew his face. But he couldn't avoid the whispers. They followed him down the hallway like a second shadow. Phones were raised, cameras clicked. Students who had never spoken to him suddenly had opinions. Student 1, whispering to a friend, that's him. That's the Spider-Person. Student 2, he doesn't look like much. Student 3, did you see the video? He took down 3 guys in like 5 seconds. Student 4, I heard he killed someone. That one made Peter's jaw tighten. He kept walking, head down, hood up. Homeroom. The teacher hadn't arrived yet. The room was loud, students talking, laughing, throwing paper airplanes. But when Peter walked in, the noise shifted. Not silence. Something worse. Curiosity. He slid into his seat, the same seat he'd sat in on his first day, and pulled out his notebook. He didn't look up. Didn't acknowledge anyone. A pterodactyl student in the front row turned around. Pterodactyl student. Hey, Grimstone. Is it true you can lift a car? Peter, not looking up, no. Pterodactyl student. Oh, so the video was fake. Peter, flat, I said I can't lift a car. I didn't say the video was fake. The student blinked. Pterodactyl student. So, you can lift a car. Peter, finally looking up, I can lift a car. Not every car. Depends on the car. The room murmured. A Raptor student leaned across the aisle. Raptor student. What's the heaviest thing you've lifted? Peter, a bus. Raptor student, eyes wide, a bus. Peter, stolen bus. No passengers. Don't worry. The class laughed, nervous, uncertain, but laughter. Peter didn't laugh. He just turned back to his notebook. Let them talk. Let them wonder. As long as they don't get hurt. First period, biology. The teacher, an elderly Pachycephalosaurus with thick glasses and a monotone voice, was lecturing about cellular respiration. Peter took notes. Fast. Precise. Stella sat beside him, unusually quiet. Peter, whispering, not looking at her, you're staring. Stella, whispering back, sorry. I just can't believe you're real. Peter, I'm sitting right next to you. I'm pretty real. Stella, you know what I mean. Peter glanced at her. Her expression was soft, not worshipful, not fearful. Just curious. Peter, quiet, I'm still the same guy who helped you with math homework. Stella, I know. That's why I'm not freaking out. She smiled, small, genuine. Stella, you're still Peter. Just Peter with cooler extracurriculars. Peter almost smiled. Almost. Cafeteria, lunch. The cafeteria was chaos. Peter stood in the lunch line, tray in hand, eyes scanning the room out of habit. Exit routes. Sightlines. Potential threats. Old habits died hard. Voice behind him, you're the Spider-Person. Peter turned. A young Allosaurus stood behind him, tall, lanky, with nervous eyes and a notebook clutched to his chest. Peter, I'm Peter. Allosaurus student. Right, sorry. Peter, I wanted to say I think what you do is cool. Peter, raising an eyebrow, thanks. Allosaurus student. I mean, you're out there risking your life to help people. That's really brave. Peter studied him for a moment. No camera, no phone, just a kid being honest. Peter, softer, it's not bravery. It's just what I'm supposed to do. Allosaurus student, nodding slowly, still. It's cool. He walked away, notebook still clutched to his chest. Peter watched him go. Not everyone's a threat. He grabbed his tray and headed for his usual table. The table. Stella was already there, saving the seat across from him. She'd somehow acquired an extra carton of chocolate milk and pushed it toward him. Stella. You looked like you needed this. Peter. Taking it. I don't drink chocolate milk. Stella. You do now. He opened it. Took a sip. It was good. Really good. Peter. Fine. You win. Stella. Grinning. I always win. They ate in comfortable silence. Around them, the cafeteria buzzed, but no one approached their table. No one asked for autographs. No one tried to pick a fight. Maybe this won't be so bad. Then Trish walked by. She didn't say anything. Didn't even look at him. But Peter saw her shoulders tense. Saw the way her friends glanced at him sideways. She's not sorry. She's just embarrassed. He didn't care. Let her feel whatever she needed to feel. He had bigger problems. The message. Peter's phone buzzed during fifth period. He glanced at the screen. Unknown number. Unknown. We need to talk. Rooftop. After school. Peter. Who is this? Unknown. Someone who knows what you really are. Peter stared at the screen. His spider sense was silent. No danger, just uncertainty. Peter. If this is a trap, I'll web you to a water tower. Unknown. Wouldn't expect anything less. Just come. He put the phone away. Great. Another mystery. Rooftop. After school. The sun was low in the sky, painting the city in shades of orange and purple. Peter stood on the edge of the roof, suit on, mask off, waiting. 5 minutes. 10. 15. He was about to leave when the door creaked open. A figure stepped out, hooded, cloaked, smaller than Peter expected. Not a threat. Not an enemy. Someone else. Figure. Pulling back the hood. You're shorter than I expected. Peter stared. Standing before him was a human girl, maybe 16, with dark hair, sharp eyes, and a smirk that reminded him painfully of MJ. Peter. Who are you? Girl. Name's Kira. Kira Vance. She leaned against the doorframe. I'm the reason the police haven't arrested you yet. Peter. Narrowing his eyes. Explain. Kira. Chief Kato's my uncle. He told me about you. About the vigilante problem. She air quoted. I convinced him to give you a chance. Peter. Why? Kira. Because I've been watching you. Peter's spider sense prickled. Not danger, but warning. Peter. That's not creepy at all. Kira. Laughing. Relax. I'm not a stalker. I'm just interested. She pushed off the doorframe and walked toward him, slow, casual, confident. Kira. You're not from here, are you? I mean, really not from here. Peter went still. Peter. What do you mean? Kira. I mean, you showed up out of nowhere. No records before a few weeks ago. No family. No history. It's like you just appeared. She stopped a few feet away. Kira. So I'll ask again. Who are you, Peter Grimstone? Really? Peter was silent for a long moment. She knows. Or she suspects. Either way, lying won't help. Peter. Quiet. I'm from another universe. Kira's expression didn't change. No shock. No disbelief. Just curiosity. Kira. I figured. Peter. You figured. Kira. The nanotech. The fighting style. The way you talk. You're not from this world. She shrugged. I've read enough comics to know a isekai protagonist when I see one. Peter blinked. Peter. That's not the reaction I expected. Kira. What did you expect? Screaming. Fainting. She grinned. I'm not easily impressed. She sat down on the edge of the roof, legs dangling over the void, and patted the spot beside her. Kira. Sit. Tell me everything. And don't leave out the good parts. Peter hesitated. Then, slowly, he sat. Peter. It's a long story. Kira. I've got time. He told her. Not everything, not the worst parts, not Otto Octavius, not the superior Spider-Man, not the friends who had betrayed him. But enough. Enough to explain who he was and where he came from. When he finished, Kira was quiet. Kira. Soft. That's a lot for one person to carry. Peter. You get used to it. Kira. No, you don't. She looked at him, really looked, and Peter saw something in her eyes. Recognition. Understanding. She's been through something too. Kira. I'm not going to tell anyone. Your secret's safe with me. Peter. Why should I trust you? Kira. Because I'm the only person in this city who knows what it's like to start over. She stood, and because you need a friend who isn't a dinosaur. She held out her hand. Peter. Looking at it, you're weird. Kira. Weird is better than boring. Peter took her hand, shook it. Peter. One chance. Don't make me regret it. Kira. Grinning, wouldn't dream of it. Rooftop. Sunset. They sat in silence, watching the sun dip below the horizon, watching the city lights flicker to life. Kira. So, what's the plan? Peter. Plan. Kira. For the future. For your future. You can't just patrol rooftops forever. Peter. Why not? Kira. Because you're smarter than that. You could do more. Be more. Peter was quiet. Kira. I'm not saying stop being spider person. I'm saying, think bigger. Help more people. Not just the ones getting mugged in alleys. Peter. Looking at her, what do you suggest? Kira. I have some ideas. But first, she stood, you need better gear. Peter. My gear is fine. Kira. Your gear is held together with spite and duct tape. I've seen the schematics. Peter's eyes narrowed. Peter. You hacked my tablet. Kira. Innocent, I would never. Peter. You absolutely did. Kira. Smirking, maybe. She pulled out her phone, tapped the screen, and showed him a blueprint. Something new. Something advanced. Kira. My family runs a tech lab on the outskirts of the city. We've been developing new materials. New energy sources. Stuff that could upgrade your suit in ways you haven't even imagined. Peter studied the blueprint. His eyes widened. Peter. This is incredible. The power to weight ratio alone. Kira. I know. She put the phone away, come by after school tomorrow. I'll give you the tour. Peter. Why are you doing this? Kira. Because someone helped me once. When I needed it most. She walked toward the door, I'm just returning the favor. She pulled up her hood. Kira. See you tomorrow, spider person. The door closed behind her. Peter sat alone on the rooftop, staring at the city, at the stars, at the future. Maybe this world isn't so bad after all. Chapter 5. The Truth, the World, and the Aftermath. The Invitation. 3 days had passed since the encounter with Kira on the rooftop. Peter had spent those days thinking, about the chip, about the war she mentioned, about the facility hidden inside the volcano. He hadn't gone yet. He wasn't ready. But something else was happening. The news stations had been calling for days. Emails, messages, requests for interviews, for statements, for anything from the mysterious spider person. He'd ignored them all. Until now. Peter. To himself, staring at his phone, if I don't control the story, someone else will. He thought about 616. About the Daily Bugle. About Jameson's rants, his editorials, his lies. About how the world had turned against him because he'd let others shape the narrative. Not this time. He picked up his phone. Dialed. News station representative. Volcano City News, how can I help you? Peter. This is Spider Person. I'd like to schedule an interview. The line went silent. Representative. Stammering, yes, right away. When would you like to? Peter. Tonight. Volcano City News, Studio 8 p.m. The studio was buzzing. Crew members rushed between cameras, adjusting lights, checking audio levels, muttering into headsets. The set was polished, glass desk, blue backdrop, the Volcano City News logo glowing in neon letters. And at the center of it all, the host. She was a pterodactyl, slender, elegant, with sharp features and sharper eyes. Her feathers were a deep charcoal gray, her crest swept back in a way that suggested she'd once been a model. Her name was Lyra Vance, and she was the face of Volcano City News. Lyra. To her producer, voice tense, he's really coming. Producer. That's what he said. Lyra. No mask. Producer. He said, he'd explain everything. Lyra took a deep breath. Explain everything. She'd been a journalist for 15 years. She'd interviewed politicians, criminals, celebrities, and one very confused accountant who'd won the lottery 3 times. But she'd never interviewed a vigilante. The studio doors opened. Spider Person walked in. The suit was darker than it appeared in the blurry phone videos, deep red and navy, almost black in the low light. The lenses were angular, aggressive. He moved differently than she'd expected, not like a performer, but like a soldier. Every step deliberate. Every movement efficient. Lyra, standing, extending a hand, welcome. It's such an honor to have you here today, Spider-Person. We're all incredibly excited to be interviewing you. Spider-Person shook her hand. His grip was firm, but careful. Controlled. Spider-Person, thanks. It's good to be here. Lyra, gesturing to the set, please, have a seat. He sat. She sat across from him. The cameras adjusted. The lights dimmed slightly, a trick to soften shadows, to make the subject look more approachable. Lyra, alright, let's get straight into it. There has been quite a bit of speculation about your identity, and people are dying for an actual interview to finally get some answers. Spider-Person was silent for a moment. Behind the mask, she could see his jaw working, considering, calculating. Spider-Person, go ahead. Lyra, leaning forward, alright, let's start with the obvious one. There's been a lot of speculation about who you really are under that mask. Can you tell us anything about your true identity? The studio went quiet. Spider-Person reached up, and touched the edge of his mask. Lyra, eyes widening, wait, are you serious? You're actually going to reveal yourself right now? Spider-Person, yeah, why not? Might as well be the first to reveal myself on my own terms, instead of having someone expose me. Lyra, flustered, okay, wow, this is unexpected. Right, okay. So you want to reveal your identity, right here, right now, on camera. Spider-Person, yep, on camera, right here and now. I'm tired of all the speculation and rumors, so might as well set the record straight myself. The nanites moved. The mask retracted, flowing back into the collar of his suit like liquid metal, revealing the face beneath. Young. That was the first thing Lyra noticed. He was young. 17, maybe. Human. Dark hair, tired eyes, a face that had seen too much and slept too little. Lyra. Breathless, wait, you're just a human. Like, an ordinary human teenager. Peter. Yes, but I prefer the new word, metahuman. People that gain powers. And my name is Peter Grimstone. The world reacts. Across the planet, in living rooms, in bars, in police stations, in government buildings, people stared. Volcano High, Principal Sphere's office. Principal Sphere sat in his chair, watching the broadcast on his tablet. His ancient eyes, set in a face that had seen centuries, studied the boy on the screen. So young, so tired, so familiar. He'd seen that look before. In soldiers, in survivors, in people who had carried too much for too long. Principal Spheres, quiet, by the gods, this young man has been through hell. The streets of Volcano City. People gathered around outdoor screens, saurians and humans alike, pausing mid-step, frozen in place. Citizen 1, a human, watching, he's one of us. Citizen 2, a saurian, arms crossed, a human. The Spider-Person is a human. Citizen 3, a young raptor, eyes wide, he's just a kid. No one knew what to feel. Shock, confusion, a strange, unexpected flicker of pride. The news studio continued. Lyra, composing herself, okay, alright, so, let me get this straight. You're a metahuman called Spider-Person, and your real name is Peter Grimstone. Is that correct? Peter, yes, that's right. I'm a metahuman, and I go by the name of Spider-Person. And my real name is indeed Peter Grimstone. Lyra nodded, then paused. Something in his expression had shifted. A wait, a hesitation. Lyra, there's something else. I can see it in your eyes. Peter was silent for a long moment. Peter, my real name isn't Peter Grimstone. Lyra, leaning forward, go on. Tell us. Peter, my original name was Peter Parker. Also known as Spider-Man, from Earth-616. The studio went absolutely silent. Peter, you may not know me, but yes, I am a human from another universe. If you've ever heard about multiverse theory, then yes. It's real. Lyra's jaw dropped. Lyra, wait, what? You're from a completely different universe. Peter, yes, Earth-616. A reality with no dinosaur people. Just humans. And people with powers. I was the only one, or at least, one of the few, who actually tried to do good. His voice hardened. Peter, No matter how many times I tried doing good as Spider-Man, the Daily Bugle always berated me, calling me a menace, even though I tried helping the world. He looked away, at the camera, at the audience, at the world that was watching. Peter, while the other heroes, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, did nothing. They just cared about partying, about their own reputations, about anything except the people who needed help. He took a breath. Peter, ever since the Civil War happened, I revealed my identity to the whole world. And the world hated me. Didn't care about my reasons. Didn't care about the sacrifices I'd made. After that day, nothing was the same. Lyra's eyes were wet. She didn't bother hiding it. Lyra, wait, so you're telling me you revealed your identity to the whole world, and it backfired on you? People turned on you because of it. Peter, it was worse than that. After I revealed my identity, the Kingpin put a hit out on me. He shot Aunt May. She almost died. And when I asked the other heroes for help, for anything, they didn't care. They turned their backs. His voice cracked, just slightly. Peter, after that, Aunt May recovered. My identity was erased from the public. But ever since that day, I've been different. And then, he stopped. Lyra, gentle, and then, Peter, quiet, the superior Spider-Man. One of my villains, Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus, he took over my body. Lyra gasped. Peter, he stole my body. My life. My face. And he committed horrible things. Ruined my reputation. Ruined my personal life. Ruined everything I'd built. He looked at the camera, directly at the camera, and his eyes were burning. Peter, the world hated me. And that's when a portal opened, and I ended up here. In this world, where I thought I could start over. The World Reacts, Part 2. Volcano High, students watching on phones. Stella sat in her room, phone clutched in her hands, tears streaming down her green scales. Stella, whispering, Peter. She thought about the boy who'd sat next to her in class. The boy who'd helped her with math. The boy who'd told her, so casually, so painfully, that she was his first friend. He'd been through all of that. And he still chose to be kind. She wiped her eyes. Stella, to herself, I'm gonna be the best damn friend he's ever had. Police headquarters, Chief Cato's office. Chief Cato watched the broadcast in silence, arms crossed, expression unreadable. But inside, something was shifting. He'd stood on that rooftop. He'd looked into that kid's eyes. And he'd seen the truth, the exhaustion, the grief, the resolve. Now he understood why. Chief Cato, quiet damn kid, carrying all that weight by himself. He picked up his phone. Chief Cato, get me a line to the mayor. I need to discuss something. The news studio continued. Lyra, voice trembling, oh my God, you really have been through hell, haven't you? Peter, yes. He stood. Peter, and that is all I have to say. Thank you for the interview. The nanites flowed, covering his face, sealing the mask in place. He turned, walked toward the exit, and paused at the door. Peter, without looking back, no matter how many times the world pushes you down, you get back up. Always. He left. The studio sat in stunned silence. Lyra turned to the camera, her professional composure shattered, her eyes raw. Lyra, to the audience, we need to process what we've just heard. We'll be right back after a short break. The cameras cut, and the world kept spinning. Volcano City, streets, later that night. Peter swung through the city, not patrolling, not hunting, just moving. He expected hate. He expected jeers, insults, condemnation. The same thing that had happened in 616. The same thing that always happened when people learned the truth about him. But that's not what he saw. People were smiling. A human woman on a balcony waved at him. He almost fell off his web line. Human woman, calling out, thank you, Spider Person. Thank you for everything. A Saurian teenager pointed at the sky, at him, and shouted to his friends. Saurian teen, it's him. It's really him. A group of children, humans and Saurians together, ran beneath him, laughing, waving, cheering. Child. Spider Person. Spider Person. Peter landed on a rooftop. Stared down at the street below. Peter, to himself, confused. What is happening? His phone buzzed. Stella, you're on every channel. And Peter, people are on your side. Peter, I don't understand. Stella, you told the truth. The whole truth. And people believe you. He sat down on the edge of the roof, hard, and stared at the city. People believe me. It was such a simple thing. Such a small thing. And yet, it felt like the first time in years that he could breathe. Peter, to himself maybe this world is different. He pulled off his mask. Let the night air touch his face. And for the first time since arriving in Volcano City, he smiled. Meanwhile, Minister's office. Lucy, the female parasaurolophus with ginger hair and cold eyes, watched the broadcast from behind her desk. Her expression was neutral, controlled, but inside, her mind was racing. Spider-Person is a human. Not just a human from another universe. And he just told the entire world his story. She picked up her phone. Lucy, get me a full file on that kid. I want to know everything, his name, his background, his history, his weaknesses. We need to keep a close eye on this human who's been masquerading as a hero. She hung up, leaned back in her chair. Lucy, to herself the question is, does he become an asset, or a threat? She watched the screen, watched Peter's face, frozen in a moment of raw vulnerability, and made a note. Time will tell. Volcano City, rooftop, late night. Peter sat alone, mask off, looking at the stars. They were different here, brighter, closer, like the universe was smaller, or kinder, or both. His phone buzzed again. Stella, you okay? Peter, I think so. Stella, good, because tomorrow, you're going to have a lot of people wanting to talk to you. Peter, I know. Stella, but you don't have to do it alone. Not anymore. Peter stared at the screen. Peter, thank you, Stella. Stella, that's what friends are for, vigilante. Now get some sleep. You've earned it. He put the phone away. Lay back on the rooftop. Stared at the stars. Not alone. It was a strange feeling. But maybe, just maybe, it was one he could get used to. Chapter 6, What They Lost. Earth 616 6 months after Peter's departure. The universe didn't mourn. That was the thing about loss, the world kept spinning. The sun kept rising. People kept living, as if nothing had changed. But everything had changed. The Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson's office. Jameson sat behind his desk, feet propped up, cigar unlit between his fingers. For the first time in years, he was smiling. Jameson, to his assistant, did you see the papers? No Spider-Man sightings in 6 months. 6 months. Assistant, nervously, sir, crime rates have. Jameson, I don't care about crime rates. That menace is finally gone. New York is free. He laughed, a loud, barking sound, and leaned back in his chair. Jameson, good riddance. He lit the cigar. And somewhere in the city, a woman was being robbed. And no one came to help. Avengers Tower, common room. Tony Stark swirled a glass of whiskey, staring out at the Manhattan skyline. Tony, 6 months without the Spider Kid. Feels different, doesn't it? Clint Barton, lounging on a couch, cleaning his fingernails with an arrowhead. Different how? Tony, quieter. Clint, that's a bad thing. Tony didn't answer. Hank Pym, entering the room, tablet in hand. The new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, is struggling. His performance metrics are down 30% this quarter. Tony, he's young. He'll learn. Hank, he's not Peter. The room went quiet. Tony, taking a sip. No. He's not. Carol Danvers, from the doorway. Good. Peter was unstable, unpredictable, a liability. Tony, he saved the city more times than we can count. Carol, and he also helped Otto Octavius destroy his own reputation. That's not our problem. She walked away. Tony stared at his reflection in the glass. Not our problem. He almost believed it. The streets of New York, the first month. Crime rose. Not slowly, not the kind of gradual increase that could be blamed on seasonal changes or economic downturns. It spiked. Robberies, assaults, gang violence. Supervillains who had once been held in check by a certain web slinger suddenly realized the leash was gone. NYPD officer, to a reporter, exhausted, we're doing everything we can. But these guys, the Rhino, Electro, Vulture, they're not street level. They're super. Reporter, where are the Avengers? The officer laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. NYPD officer, busy, apparently. 2 months after Peter's departure. Miles Morales stood on a rooftop, sweating, bleeding, tired. He'd been Spider-Man for 2 months. 2 months of nightmares. 2 months of failure. 2 months of realizing that the suit didn't make the hero. Miles, to himself, I can do this. I can do this. I can. Electro, appearing behind him, crackling with energy, there you are, little spider. Miles turned, too slow. Electro, where's the real Spider-Man? The one who actually put up a fight. Lightning struck. Miles screamed. He ran. 3 months after Peter's departure. The pattern was clear. Every time a major villain appeared, the heroes would show up. Late, unprepared, arrogant. And every time, they'd get destroyed. Rhino, battling War Machine, you're not Spider-Man. War Machine, I'm better than Spider-Man. Rhino headbutted the armor. War Machine crashed into a building. Rhino, liar. Electro, facing the Fantastic Four, where's the funny one? The one in red. Mr. Fantastic, we don't need him. Electro smiled. And unleashed hell. The Avengers, assembled against the Sinister Six. It was a massacre. Not because the Sinister Six were stronger, but because the Avengers weren't a team. Not anymore. They were individuals. Egos. Failures. They ran. Every single one of them. And the people of New York watched, and remembered. 4 months after Peter's departure. Public opinion poll, New York City. Do you believe the Avengers can protect the city? Yes, 12%. No, 88%. Do you believe the Fantastic Four can protect the city? Yes, 9%. No, 91%. Do you believe the X-Men can protect the city? Yes, 7%. No, 93%. Do you believe Spider-Man could have prevented this? Yes, 94%. No, 6%. The comments section was a graveyard of regret. We didn't know what we had until he was gone. I used to believe the Bugle. I was wrong. Peter Parker, wherever you are. I'm sorry. 5 months after Peter's departure, the revelation. Dr. Doom stood before a global broadcast, his metal mask gleaming, his cape flowing, his voice calm and deadly. Doom, citizens of Earth. For years, you have been lied to. The heroes you worship, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, are not saviors. They are criminals. He activated a screen. Footage played. Doom, Tony Stark, weapons dealer, hypocrite. He sold weapons to Hydra while pretending to be a hero. The crowd gasped. Doom, Hank Pym, abuser, creator of Ultron. He blames others for his own failures. Doom, Professor Charles Xavier, kidnapper. He took mutant children from their families, murdered their parents, and raised them as soldiers. The world watched in horror. Doom, Clint Barton, rapist. He preys on underage girls. The Avengers knew. They did nothing. Doom, Reed Richards, arrogant. He aided in the creation of Ultron. He covered up the Illuminati's crimes. Doom, and the Illuminati themselves, secret cabal, ruling the world from the shadows, deciding who lives and who dies. He stepped closer to the camera. Doom, they knew about Spider-Man. They knew Otto Octavius had taken his body. They knew he was innocent. And they let the world hate him anyway. Silence. Doom, because he was inconvenient. Because he asked questions. Because he cared about the people they ignored. He spread his arms. Doom, the heroes you trusted have betrayed you. The question is, what will you do about it? The broadcast ended. And the world burned. 6 months after Peter's departure, the Illuminati's secret. The Illuminati met in the shadows, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Hank Pym, Charles Xavier, Black Bolt, and Namor. Tony, Doom's broadcast has destabilized everything. Public trust is at an all-time low. Reed, we can fix this. We just need time. Charles, we don't have time. The anti-mutant sentiment is worse than ever. AIM is hunting us. The government is turning against us. Hank, quietly, this is our fault. Tony, what? Hank, Peter, we failed him. We saw the evidence, the neural patterns, the behavioral anomalies, and we ignored it. Because it was easier to blame him than to admit we'd been fooled. Silence. Reed, what's done is done. We need to look forward. Namor, cold, forward to what? Our own destruction. Black Bolt, Signing, we need to find him. Tony. Find who? Black Bolt. Peter Parker. The real one. If he's alive, he's the only one who can unite the people again. Tony. He's probably dead. Black Bolt. And if he's not? No one answered. Because the truth was, they didn't know. And they were afraid to find out. Meanwhile, the believers. Not everyone had abandoned Peter. Ben Reilly sat in a dark room, staring at a wall covered in newspaper clippings, reports of Spider-Man's crimes, side by side with evidence of Otto Octavius's guilt. Ben. To himself, he didn't deserve this. Kane stood behind him, arms crossed. Kane. No, he didn't. Ben. The others, Miles, Cindy, all of them, they believed the lies. Kane. They were scared. Ben. That's not an excuse. Cindy Moon, now calling herself Madam Web, entered the room. Her eyes glowed with faint, spider-shaped light. Cindy, I've been searching. Across dimensions. Across time. I can't find him. Ben, keep looking. Cindy, even if I find him, he may not want to come back. Kane, would you? Silence. Cindy, there are others who believe. Doctor Strange. Blade. Moon Knight. Deadpool. Ghost Rider. They're organizing. Preparing. Ben, for what? Cindy, for the war that's coming. The Illuminati's crimes are catching up to them. And when they fall, someone will need to protect the innocent. Ben, and you think that someone is Peter. Cindy, quiet, I think he's the only one who ever really tried. Epilogue, the void. Somewhere, outside reality, outside time, outside the reach of gods and monsters, a golden light flickered. The Weaver, the master of the web of life and destiny. He had watched. He had waited. And now, he was disappointed. The Weaver, to Julia Carpenter, former Madam Web, you failed. Julia, kneeling, trembling, I tried. The Weaver, you were arrogant. You believed yourself above the spiders you were meant to guide. You let Peter Parker fall. He raised his hand. The Weaver, you are unworthy. The power left her, ripping away like flesh from bone. Julia screamed. The Weaver, Cindy Moon. Rise. Cindy stepped forward, fearful, but ready. The Weaver, you are Madam Web now. Guide the spiders. Protect the web. And find the one who was lost. Cindy, I will. The Weaver, good. Because if you fail. He didn't finish. He didn't need to. The golden light faded. And Cindy Moon, the new Madam Web, opened her eyes. New York City, rooftop, night. Deadpool sat on the edge of a building, legs dangling, mask off, staring at the stars. Deadpool, to no one, you know, Wade, I really thought they'd figure it out. The Avengers, the X-Men, all those big brain geniuses. He took a sip from a flask. Deadpool, but nope, they're too busy being stupid to notice they're stupid. He looked at the city that had once had a hero. Deadpool, don't worry, Petty Pie. I'll find you. And when I do. He smiled, sharp, sad, deadly. Deadpool, we're gonna have words. Chapter 7, The Prime Minister's True Colors. Volcano City, evening. The city had changed. Not the buildings. Not the streets. The people. Ever since the interview, Peter Grimstone couldn't swing through the city without hearing cheers. Without seeing smiles. Without feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Accepted. He landed on a rooftop, mask off, hood up, and stared at the sky. The volcano loomed in the distance, steam rising, the eternal reminder that nothing was permanent. Peter, to himself, it's been a good week. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. Peter, hello. Voice, female, smooth, cold. Tell me, is this the famous spider person? Or should I call you the amazing Spider-Man? Peter's blood went cold. Lucy. He'd seen her on the news. The Prime Minister. A Parasaurolophus with ginger hair and eyes that smiled without warmth. Peter, carefully, that's me. What can I help you with, Prime Minister Lucy? Lucy, chuckling, nothing much, sweetie. I just thought we might actually talk somewhere private. I have to admit, you are pretty good with biogenetics. Peter's spider sense hummed. Low. Warning. Peter, why do you ask? Lucy, oh, you know. I've heard great things about you. So I was wondering if you might actually help me with a bit of a project. A pause. Lucy, meet me at the warehouse. Night. Come alone. The line went dead. Peter stared at his phone. Stinking feeling. Bad. This is bad. He thought about ignoring it. About pretending the call never happened. About swinging away and never looking back. But that wasn't who he was. Peter, to himself, never has been. He tapped his watch. The nanites flowed, suit forming, mask sealing, lenses glowing. Peter, Spidey 1, Spidey 2, activate. 2 small spider drones detached from his belt, no bigger than his palm, their lenses glowing blue. They buzzed silently, waiting. Peter, record everything. And I mean everything. They chirped in acknowledgement. He swung. The warehouse, industrial district. The warehouse was old, rusted steel, broken windows, the smell of decay. Peter landed on the roof, climbed down the wall, and slipped through a gap in the side. His spider sense was screaming now. Danger. Not immediate, but coming. He moved through the shadows, silent, invisible, ready. And then he saw it. A chair. In the center of the warehouse. And tied to the chair, a dinosaur person. A priest, by the look of the robes. Female. Pterodactyl. Her feathers were ruffled, her eyes wide with terror. Peter, to himself, quiet, what the hell? Voice, from the shadows, you finally arrived. Lucy stepped forward, ginger hair, cold eyes, smile like a knife. Peter, steady, what is this? Lucy, welcome. I'm so happy you decided to come. She walked around the chair, slowly, deliberately, like a predator circling prey. Lucy, this is just a small part of something much bigger. Peter, bigger. What are you talking about? Lucy, stopping beside the priest, oh, did you not know? All I needed was a guinea pig. Technically, why else would I have brought you here for an experiment? Peter's fists clenched. Peter, experiment. Lucy, you see, sweetie. I've been working on something special. A serum that can turn any creature into a mindless drone. Completely under my control. She held up a syringe. The liquid inside glowed, pulsing, wrong. Peter, you're insane. Lucy, I'm efficient. She plunged the needle into the priest's neck. The priest screamed. Peter lunged, but he was too late. The transformation was horrifying. The priest's feathers fell out. Her bones cracked, reshaping, reforming. Her eyes went blank, empty, hungry. She grew larger, stronger, wronger. Peter, horrified, what is in that serum? Lucy, laughing, the transformation is quite remarkable, isn't it? The beast, once a priest, now a monster, snapped its chains and lunged at Peter. He dodged, webbed its face, tied its legs. Lucy, clapping, impressive. Even in chaos, you're efficient. Peter, circling her, what is in that serum? Lucy, oh, just a little something I've been working on. A serum that can turn any creature into a mindless drone, completely under my control. Peter, you're turning innocent beings into mindless servants. Lucy, shrugging, why else do you think I needed a complete serum? Seeing that this one was unstable, you were always the perfect candidate. Peter's blood boiled. Peter, you monster. Why would you do that? Those are your own people. Lucy, laughing, oh, you are so naive, aren't you? You really think that way? That humans are always superior. She stepped closer. Lucy, the first time I heard of a metahuman like you, it changed everything. I'm rather amazed by your abilities. Your knowledge, everything. Even a human from another reality itself. Peter, voice cold, you think this is some kind of game? You're taking innocent lives, turning them into mindless drones for your own twisted desires. Lucy, oh, please. Innocent is such a relative term. I'm simply taking what I need to achieve my goals. Peter, goals. What kind of goals could you possibly have that justify something so inhumane? Lucy's smirk disappeared. Her expression darkened. Lucy, world domination, obviously. What better way to gain absolute power than to control those around me? Behind his mask, Peter smiled. Got you. The trap. Peter, calm, fine. I'll do it. Lucy's smile returned. Lucy, excellent. Peter, if I was stupid enough to help someone like you. He moved. Faster than she could track. Faster than she could react. He grabbed her, suplexed her onto the ground, and pinned her arms behind her back. Lucy, struggling, you. Peter, I never hurt a woman. Or a girl. But I can make an exception for someone who commits inhuman experiments. He webbed her wrists, her ankles, her mouth. Then he turned to the beast. The cure. The priest monster thrashed against its webs, growling, snapping, lost. But Peter had seen this before. Lizard, goblin, venom. The formula was different, but the principle was the same. Corruption can be reversed. He pulled a small kit from his belt, chemicals, vials, a portable synthesizer. His fingers moved fast, mixing, measuring, calculating. Peter, to Spidey 1, analyzed the serum remnants. The drone buzzed over Lucis' dropped syringe. Its lens glowed. Data streamed to Peter's HUD. Peter, got it. He synthesized the counter-agent in 90 seconds. Loaded it into a syringe. Approached the beast. Peter, gentle, I'm sorry. This is going to hurt. He injected the cure. The beast screamed. Bones cracked, reshaping, healing. The monster shrank. The feathers grew back. The eyes, empty, hungry, became aware. And then, the priest collapsed. Humanoid. Pterodactyl. Normal. Peter caught her before she hit the ground. He took off his jacket, wrapped it around her shoulders, and helped her to her feet. Priest, trembling, thank you, thank you. She hugged him, tight, and then, surprising them both, kissed him on the cheek. Priest, may God bless you for your kindness. Peter blinked. Peter, okay, thanks. You're welcome. The confrontation. Lucy struggled against her webs, furious, defeated. Lucy, you think anyone will believe you? I'm the Prime Minister. I'll destroy you. The world will hate you, just like they did in your old world. Peter walked toward her, knelt down, met her eyes. Peter, you forget one thing. He tapped his mask. The lenses glowed. Peter, you underestimate your opponents. Did you forget my mask has built-in cameras? Recording everything. He pointed to the shadows. Peter, not only that, my spider drones recorded everything too. Spidey 1 and Spidey 2 buzzed out of the darkness, their lenses flashing, their data streams already broadcasting. Lucy, horror dawning, no. The warehouse doors burst open. Police officers flooded in, guns drawn, lights flashing. Chief Cato led the charge. Chief Cato, Prime Minister Lucy. You're under arrest for crimes against your own kind. Lucy stared at the officers. At the drones. At Peter. Lucy, defeated, you win. I surrender. The aftermath. The priests were taken to safety. Lucy was led away in cuffs. The warehouse was sealed, evidence collected, witnesses debriefed. Peter stood outside, mask off, watching the stars. Chief Cato, approaching, you did good, kid. Peter, I did what anyone would have done. Chief Cato, no, they wouldn't have. He studied Peter, this tired, broken, unbreakable teenager. Chief Cato, the footage you captured, it's already going public. Lucis' career is over. Her supporters are scrambling. Peter, and the serum. Chief Cato, confiscated. Being analyzed. We'll find out where it came from. Peter nodded. Chief Cato, you know, when I first met you, I thought you were a problem. A vigilante with no respect for the law. Peter, and now, Chief Cato, almost smiling, now I think you're the best law enforcement this city has. He walked away. Peter stood alone, staring at the volcano, at the stars, at the future. His phone buzzed. Stella, dude, the news is going crazy. You took down the Prime Minister. Peter, she took down herself. I just recorded it. Stella, that's not how any of this works. Peter, it's how I work. Stella, fair enough. You okay? Peter, I think so. Stella, good. Because tomorrow, you're going to have a lot more people wanting to talk to you. Peter, I know. Stella, but you don't have to do it alone. Not anymore. Peter stared at the screen. Not anymore. Peter, thank you, Stella. Stella, that's what friends are for, vigilante. Now get some sleep. You've earned it. He put the phone away, pulled on his mask, and swung. Volcano City, rooftop, midnight. Peter sat on the edge of a building, legs dangling, mask off, looking at the city. It was different now. His city, his people, his responsibility. But it didn't feel like a burden. It felt like home. Peter, to himself, one day at a time. He pulled on the mask. And swung. Chapter 8, Convergence. Volcano City, 1 week after Lucis' arrest. Peter Grimstone walked home with his hands in his pockets. The streets were quieter now, not empty, but calmer. The news cycles had shifted from panic to analysis. Lucis' arrest had cracked something open in Volcano City's political landscape, and everyone was still figuring out where the pieces had landed. He didn't care about any of that. He cared about the fact that he'd slept 4 hours last night. That his web shooters needed recalibrating. That the cosmic residue in his veins had been pulsing for 3 days straight, like a heartbeat that wasn't his own. Something's coming. He pushed the thought away. One day at a time. Then his spider sense screamed. The rift. Peter stumbled, clutching his head, as pain lanced through his skull. Not pain. Warning. Primal. Absolute. He looked up. The sky was tearing open. White light, blinding, infinite, split the clouds like a wound in reality itself. It wasn't lightning. It wasn't weather. It was wrong, a breach in the fabric of everything, spilling light that didn't behave like light should. Saurian Citizen 1. Screaming, what is that? Saurian Citizen 2. The volcano, is it erupting? Human Citizen. That's not the volcano. That's something else. Peter's blood ran cold. He'd seen something like this before. Not exactly, never exactly, but the feeling was the same. Portal technology. Reality bleeding into reality. Someone opened a door. The white light expanded, and then it changed. Shapes formed within the glow. Buildings. Skyscrapers. Streets. Not Volcano City's curved, volcano-hugging architecture, but sharp angles. Steel and glass. Billboards. Yellow cabs. New York. Peter's breath caught. No, 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 no. The light detonated. The merge. When Peter opened his eyes, he was on his knees. The world had changed. Volcano High loomed to his left, stone and glass, built into the volcano's slope. But to his right was Midtown Manhattan. The intersection was wrong. Streets that shouldn't connect had merged. Buildings that belonged in different dimensions now shared the same sky. The volcano's shadow fell across the Chrysler Building. The smell of sulfur mixed with hot dog carts and exhaust. Peter, whispering, no. Students screamed. Citizens fled. Saurians and humans alike stared at the impossible skyline, at the other world that had crashed into theirs. And then Peter saw them. AIM soldiers. Hydra troops. In the streets of Volcano City. AIM. Soldier 1. Raising a rifle, what the hell, where are we? Hydra agent, doesn't matter. Secure the perimeter. They opened fire. The hug. Peter didn't think. He moved, spinning, dodging, his suit forming around him in a wave of nanites, when someone slammed into him from behind. Voice, familiar, insane, beloved, Red Spidey. My old chump. Where have you been? Peter froze. No, not him. Anyone but him. Deadpool wrapped around him like a deranged octopus, masked face buried in Peter's shoulder, arms squeezing tight enough to crack ribs. Deadpool, sobbing dramatically, I thought you were dead. I thought Otto killed you. I thought. Peter, strained, Wade, can't breathe. Deadpool, pulling back, sniffing, you smell different. Did you change deodorant? Also, he finally looked around. Saurians everywhere. Pterodactyls in the air. A triceratops hiding behind a flipped car. A brachiosaurus staring at Deadpool like he was the strangest thing she'd ever seen. Deadpool, slowly, is this some kind of furry convention? Peter shoved him off. Peter, I don't think right now is the perfect time. He tapped his watch. The nanites flowed, faster than ever, responding to his urgency, and the suit formed around him. Darker than before. The red had deepened to crimson, almost black in the shadows. The navy was midnight. The eye lenses were sharper, angrier, than any Spider-Man mask had any right to be. Deadpool, watching, mask somehow conveying a, holy crap. Is that a brand new suit? Peter didn't answer. He was already moving. The brutality. AIM soldiers fired at civilians. Peter intercepted. Not with webs. Not with quips. With fists. The first soldier's rifle shattered under Peter's grip. The second soldier's arm broke at an angle that made snapping sounds. The third. Peter didn't stop. He plowed through them, a red and navy blur of controlled fury. Every movement was efficient. Every strike was final. He didn't kill, but he came closer than he had in years. AIM. Soldier 4, screaming, arm dislocated, he's not holding back. Peter, cold, no. I'm not. He dropped the soldier and moved to the next. Reinforcements. Ghost Rider roared into the battlefield on a Hellfire motorcycle, chains blazing, skull grinning. He grabbed a Sinister Six member by the throat and dragged him into damnation. Moon Knight dropped from above, white cape billowing, crescent darts flying, and carved through Hydra agents like they were paper. The Punisher walked through the chaos like he owned it, rifle barking, face expressionless. He saw Peter's new suit and nodded. Punisher, grunting, darker colors suit you. Peter, breaking a soldier's knee, not the time, Frank. Punisher, there's always time for fashion. Behind them, two figures swung into the fray. Red and black, blue and hooded. Ben Reilly. Kane Parker. Ben, landing beside Peter, eyes wide. Peter, what the hell happened to you? Kane, scanning the battlefield, then Peter's suit. I like it. Peter, good. Now fight. They fought. The villains. Vulture took to the air, wings spread, cackling. Peter grabbed him mid-flight. Slammed him into the ground. Hard. Vulture didn't get up. Peter, standing over the unconscious body, stay down. Rhino charged, massive, unstoppable. Peter sidestepped, grabbed Rhino's horn, and redirected the charge into a building. Rhino hit the wall with a sound like a car crash. He slid to the ground, groaning, done. Mysterio tried his illusions. Peter's cosmic residue burned through them. Mysterio, stumbling back, that's not possible. Peter punched him once. Mysterio hit the ground and didn't move. The crowd watched in silence. This wasn't the Spider-Man they remembered. The quippy hero. The friendly neighbor. This was something else. The heroes arrive. Iron Man landed, repulsors glowing, faceplate up. Tony Stark, Parker. Stand down. Peter turned. His lenses narrowed. Peter, Stark, Tony, you're going to hurt someone. Peter, I'm stopping someone. There's a difference. Behind Tony, Reed Richards. Hank Pym. Black Bolt. Namor. The Illuminati. And behind them, Miles Morales. Miles looked at Peter, at the new suit, the brutal takedowns, the cold eyes behind the mask, and his stomach dropped. This isn't the man who taught me. This isn't my mentor. This is someone else entirely. Miles, quietly, Mr. Parker. Peter's mask hid his expression. But his voice, when it came, was tired. Peter, that name died, Miles. Along with everything else. Otto Octavius. The tentacles came first. Otto Octavius stepped out of the chaos, metal arms gleaming, smile sharp. Otto, Parker. How good to see you again. I was worried you'd died. That would have been unsatisfying. Peter didn't speak. He moved. Faster than Otto could track. Faster than the tentacles could react. Peter grabbed the first arm, ripped it from its housing, and threw it aside. Otto, shocked, what? Second arm, ripped. Third arm, ripped. Fourth arm. Otto screamed. Peter grabbed Otto by the throat, slammed him against the ground, suplexed him into the pavement. Otto's back broke. He didn't get up. Peter, standing over him, that was for stealing my body. Norman Osborn. Green Goblin cackled, glider swooping, pumpkin bombs raining. Norman, Parker, I knew you'd come back. I knew. Peter caught a pumpkin bomb. Threw it back. The explosion sent Norman tumbling off his glider. Peter was on him before he hit the ground. He grabbed Norman by the collar, slammed him into the asphalt once. Twice. 3 times. Norman's face became a mask of blood. Norman, gurgling, you're not the same. Peter, quiet, cold, no. I'm not. He dropped Norman in a heap. Green Goblin, the real Green Goblin, didn't move. The speech. The battlefield fell silent. AIM and Hydra were down. The Sinister Six were scattered. Civilians, both Saurian and human, stared at the figure in crimson and navy. Peter stood in the center of the chaos, masked, breathing hard, cosmic residue pulsing faintly beneath his skin. He turned to face the crowd. To face the heroes who'd abandoned him. To face the city that had replaced him. Peter, voice amplified, carrying across the merged streets, hear me, people of New York City. Silence. Peter, my name is Spider-Person. He let the words land. Peter, I was Peter Parker. But that name died. Along with my trust. Along with my patience. Along with the part of me that believed you would ever see me. His lenses swept across the faces of the Illuminati. The Avengers. The X-Men. Peter, I don't answer to you. I don't answer to anyone. I am my own free man. Tony opened his mouth. Peter, sharper, don't. Tony closed it. Peter, you had your chance. All of you. When Otto wore my face, when he used my body to ruin my life, none of you noticed. None of you asked. None of you listened. His voice cracked, just slightly, before hardening again. Peter, you saw a man in a mask doing terrible things, and you assumed it was me. Because that was easier. Because that meant you didn't have to admit you'd been fooled. Reed Richards, stepping forward. Peter, if you'd just let us explain. Peter, turning to face him, explain what, Reed? That you were building a machine to erase my powers. That you were going to lobotomize me into compliance. Reed went pale. Peter, I saw the schematics. I know about the procedure. You weren't going to help me. You were going to neutralize me. He looked back at the crowd. Peter, so here's where we stand. I'm not your weapon. I'm not your scapegoat. I'm not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. His lenses glowed. Peter, I'm Spider-Person. And I protect my city now. He turned to the Saurians, to the humans of Volcano City, to the people who had accepted him. Peter, this world, this merged world, is mine now. And if anyone tries to hurt the people here, his voice dropped to ice. They answer to me. The reaction. Hawkeye stepped forward, bow drawn. Hawkeye, you can't just. Peter moved. Clint Barton didn't even see it coming. Peter grabbed his arm, twisted, and the bone snapped. Clint screamed. Peter hit him twice, face, chest, and the Avenger collapsed in a bloody heap, his face unrecognizable, his bones shattered. Peter, standing over him, I said don't. The crowd gasped. Cyclops tried to intervene, optic blast charging. Peter grabbed his face, squeezed. Scott Summers screamed. Peter didn't kill him, but when he let go, when Cyclops collapsed, his eyes were gone. Crushed, useless. Peter, stepping over the body, anyone else. Silence. Absolute, terrified silence. Peter looked at the heroes, the ones who had failed him, blamed him, tried to erase him, and saw nothing but fear in their eyes. Good. Let them be afraid. Let them remember. He turned to Miles, who was staring at him with horror and grief and something that looked like loss. Peter, quietly, just for him, this isn't who I wanted to become, Miles. But it's who I had to become. To survive. He swung away. The rooftop. Peter landed on a rooftop, merged architecture, Volcano City stone and New York steel, and pulled off his mask. His hands were shaking, not from exhaustion, from what he'd done. Clint, Scott, Otto, Norman. He'd crossed lines tonight, lines he'd sworn he would never cross. But he couldn't bring himself to regret it. Voice, from behind him, that was something, red. Deadpool sat on the edge of the roof, legs dangling, mask somehow conveying concern. Deadpool, you okay? Peter, quietly, no. Deadpool, yeah, I figured. A pause. Deadpool, for what it's worth. I never blamed you. For the Otto thing, I knew it wasn't you. Peter looked at him. Peter, why? Deadpool, shrugging, because I know what you look like when you're trying to be good. And Otto didn't have that. He just had ambition. Peter stared at the merged skyline. Peter, thanks, Wade. Deadpool, that's what I'm here for. Well, that and the chimichangas. Peter almost smiled. Almost. Chapter 9, The Impossible Choice. Volcano City, 3 days after the merge. The world had not stopped spinning. Peter stood on the rooftop of his apartment building, the one that used to overlook Volcano City's industrial district, but now also overlooked a slice of Brooklyn that had merged 2 blocks south. 3 days. 3 days since the merge. 3 days since he'd broken Clint Barton's arm, crushed Scott Summers' eyes, and left Otto Octavius and Norman Osborn bleeding on pavement. 3 days since the world learned that the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was dead. And something else had taken his place. The morning after, flashback. Day 1 to 6:47 a.m. Peter had returned to his apartment at dawn, suit stained, hands still shaking, cosmic residue flickering under his skin like a warning. His phone had exploded. Stella. Peter, what the hell happened? The sky is broken and there are New Yorkers everywhere and… Dane. Dude. There are humans in tights fighting in the streets. One of them has a metal arm. Is this normal for your world? Anon. Are you okay? I saw the videos. That was you, wasn't it? The one in the dark suit. Chief Kato. My office. Noon. Don't be late. Peter had read each message once. Then he'd turned off his phone, crawled into bed, and stared at the ceiling until the sun was high enough to hurt. What have I done? Noon. Police headquarters. Chief Kato's office smelled like old paper and volcanic ash. The Allosaurus sat behind his desk, arms crossed, expression unreadable. On the wall behind him, someone had pinned a map of the merged city. Red lines marked the new borders. Chief Kato. Sit down, Grimstone. Peter sat. Chief Kato, I've watched the footage. All of it. The fight. The altercation with your world's heroes. His eyes narrowed. Do you want to explain yourself? Peter was quiet for a moment. Peter. No. Chief Kato, excuse me. Peter. I don't want to explain myself. I don't owe them an explanation. I don't owe anyone an explanation. He leaned forward. Peter, but I'll give you one anyway. Because you've been straight with me since day one. He told Kato everything. Otto Octavius. The body theft. The months of watching a villain wear his face and ruin his life. The heroes who didn't notice. The friends who turned their backs. The family who believed the lies. The machine Reed Richards built to erase his powers. The procedure that would have left him a vegetable. Chief Kato. Quiet. After a long silence, they tried to lobotomize you. Peter. They called it neutralization. But yeah, same thing. The Allosaurus's claws dug into his desk. Chief Kato. And now they're here. In my city. Peter. Not by choice. The merge wasn't planned. Something went wrong with their portal. Chief Kato. I don't care if it was planned or not. He stood, massive, imposing, angry. They tried to mutilate one of my officers. One of my people. And now they're walking around Volcano City like they own the place. Peter. Quietly, they're not my people anymore, Chief. Kato stared at him. Chief Kato. Maybe not. But they're someone's people. And right now, they're trapped here, same as us. He walked to the window, looked out at the merged skyline. Chief Kato, the council is meeting tomorrow. They're going to ask you to make a choice. Peter. What choice? Chief Kato. Earth 616 wants you back. They've made that clear. They're willing to overlook the incident if you return with them peacefully. Peter. And if I don't? Chief Kato. Then you stay here. With us. He turned. But if you stay committed. No running. No hiding. No disappearing when things get hard. Peter. I don't run. Chief Kato. You ran from them. Peter's jaw tightened. Peter. That wasn't running. That was surviving. Chief Kato. Maybe. But tomorrow, you're going to have to choose. Running or surviving, here or there. He walked Peter to the door. Chief Kato. Think about it. And Grimstone. Peter. Yeah, Chief Kato, whatever you decide. I'm glad you landed in our world. Day 2, the city learns to breathe. The merged city was chaos. New Yorkers and Saurians stared at each other like aliens discovering life on another planet. Which, Peter supposed, wasn't far from the truth. Saurian vendor. To a confused tourist, no, I don't work at a museum. I'm selling coffee. Do you want coffee or not? Tourist. You're a dinosaur. Saurian vendor. And you're wearing socks with sandals. We all have our crosses to bear. Peter watched from a rooftop, cloaked in his suit's camouflage, invisible to the crowds below. They're adapting, he thought. Faster than I expected. But not everyone was adapting well. The resistance. In the shadows of the merged city, a new faction had formed. They called themselves the Pure Earth Alliance. Humans only. No Saurians. Their goal, push the dinosaurs back to wherever they came from. Peter had stumbled on their recruitment meeting 2 nights ago. 20 humans in a basement, armed, angry, scared. Pure Earth leader, a man with a shaved head and hateful eyes. They're not like us. They're animals. Walking, talking, thinking animals, but animals nonetheless. Recruit, but they have jobs. Families. They're not. Leader, they're pretending. It's a mask. And when the masks come off, they'll eat us alive. Peter had listened for 10 more minutes. Then he dropped into the room, webbed the leader to a chair, and delivered a single message. Peter, touch one Saurian. 1. And I'll show you what an animal can really do. He'd left them trembling, but he knew they wouldn't stop. Hate never stops. It just finds new targets. Day 3. The visitors. Peter was repairing his web shooters when the knock came. 3 knocks. Pause. 2 knocks. Ben's signal. He opened the door. Ben Riley stood in the hallway, civilian clothes, tired eyes, a duffel bag over his shoulder. Behind him, Kane leaned against the wall, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Ben, quietly, hey, Pete. Peter, stepping aside, get in. Both of you. The apartment was small, 1 bedroom, a kitchenette, a living area cluttered with tools and spare parts. Peter cleared space on the couch. Ben, sitting, looking around, this is nice. Cozy. Kane, still standing, it's a shoebox. Peter, it's mine. An awkward silence. Ben, look, Pete. We need to talk about what happened. What you did. Peter, I know what I did. Ben, do you? Because the guy the first knew, the real Peter Parker, would never have. Peter, cutting him off, the real Peter Parker died, Ben. When Otto stole my body. When May turned her back. When MJ told me to leave and never come back. When Tony seized my company. When Reed built a machine to erase me. His voice was flat, exhausted, final. Peter, that Peter Parker, the one who always smiled, always quipped, always forgave, he's gone. I don't know if he's ever coming back. Kane, quietly, so what? You're just going to be this now. The guy who breaks people's arms. The guy who crushes eyes. Peter, I didn't come here to be judged by you of all people, Kane. Kane, I'm not judging. I'm asking, because I've been where you are. The anger, the righteous anger, and it doesn't end well. Peter looked at his hands. The ones that had broken Clint Barton's arm. The ones that had crushed Scott Summers' eyes. Peter, I know. Ben, then come back with us. To 616. We can fix this. We can. Peter, standing, voice hard, fix what, Ben? The world that threw me away. The heroes who wanted me lobotomized. The family that believed a villain over me. He walked to the window, stared out at the merged skyline. Peter, there's nothing to fix. Because there's nothing left. Kane, so you're just going to stay here. With the dinosaurs. Peter, turning, the dinosaurs have names, Kane. They have families. They have hearts. And they accepted me when your world threw me away like trash. His voice cracked. Peter, they didn't ask me to be perfect. They didn't ask me to be their weapon. They just let me be. Ben, softly, Pete. Peter, I'm not saying it's forever. I'm not saying I'll never come back. But right now, I can't be Peter Parker. Not in a world that wants me dead or tamed or erased. He looked at his brothers, the clones who had become more family than the original ever was. Peter, I need time. I need space. I need to figure out who I am when I'm not trying to live up to a name that was never really mine. The rooftop, that night. Peter sat alone, legs dangling over the edge, mask in his hands, the merged city bleeding light beneath him. It's happening again, he thought. The choice. The impossible choice. He remembered another rooftop. Another city. Another life. If anything, I wish I was somewhere else. The portal had answered. But now the portal had opened again, and the past had followed him through. Tony Stark, landing on the rooftop, repulsors dimmed Parker. Peter didn't turn. Peter, Stark, Tony, we need to talk. Peter, no, you need to talk. I don't need to listen. Tony walked closer, stopped a few feet away, hands raised in surrender. Tony, you're right. About all of it. The way we treated you. The way we failed you. He hesitated. I was wrong. Peter, finally turning, you were worse than wrong. You were cruel. You took everything I built, Parker Industries, and handed it to someone else without even asking if I was really the one who'd hurt people. Tony, I know. Peter, you don't know. You can't know. Because you've never had your entire life stolen and then been blamed for the theft. Tony, quietly, you're right. I haven't. A long silence. Tony, but I'm asking you, begging you, to come back. Not for me. Not for the Avengers. For you. Because running away doesn't fix anything. It just postpones the pain. Peter laughed, a bitter, broken sound. Peter, that's rich coming from you, Stark. The man who's been running from his demons for decades. Tony flinched. Peter, I'm not running. I'm building something new. Something better. With people who actually give a damn about me, not the idea of me. He stood, pulled on his mask, turned to face the man who had once been his mentor. Peter, tell the others. I'm not coming back to 616. Not now. Maybe not ever. Tony, pained Peter. Peter, but I'm not abandoning them either. If 616 needs help, real help, I'll come. I'll fight. I'll save people. Because that's what I do. He stepped to the edge of the rooftop. Peter, but I'm done being their Spider-Man. I'm done being anyone's weapon or scapegoat or symbol. He looked back, just once. Peter, I'm Spider-Person. And I protect my city now. He swung away. The council meeting, day 4. Volcano City Council Chambers 10 a.m. The room was packed. Saurians on one side, humans from 616 on the other. In the center, a long table where leaders from both worlds sat in uneasy proximity. Chief Cato sat at the head. Beside him, a nervous human politician named Mayor Holland. Across from them, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and Professor Xavier. And at the end of the table, mask off, hood up, hands folded, Peter Grimstone. Mayor Holland, clearing his throat, we're here to discuss the integration of our two worlds. The merge, as people are calling it, has created unprecedented challenges. And opportunities. Reed Richards, adjusting his glasses, the portal technology is still unstable. We're working on a solution, a way to separate the worlds without causing further damage. Chief Cato, cold, and in the meantime, while you work on a solution, our people are being attacked. Threatened, hated, for the crime of existing. Tony, defensive, we're not condoning that. We're trying to stop it. Chief Cato, then why are your heroes standing around doing nothing while pure Earth thugs beat an elderly stegosaurus in the street? Silence. Professor Xavier, calmly, we're aware of the situation. And we're deploying resources to address it. But we need time, and we need cooperation. Chief Cato, you need trust. And trust is earned, not demanded. He turned to Peter. Chief Cato, Grimstone, you've heard both sides. What do you say? Every eye in the room turned to him. Peter stood, slowly, and looked at the faces around him. The Saurians who had accepted him. The humans who had rejected him. The world that had broken him. And the world that was trying to heal him. Peter, quietly, I'm not going back to 616. Tony's face fell. Reed's jaw tightened. Xavier's expression remained unreadable. Peter, but I'm not abandoning them either. He walked to the center of the room, stood between the two sides, and spread his arms. Peter, this merged world, this singularity, isn't going away. Not anytime soon. So we have two choices. We can fight each other until nothing's left. Or we can build something new. He looked at Chief Cato. Peter, the Saurians are not the enemy. He looked at Tony. Peter, and the humans from 616 are not the enemy either. He let his arms fall. Peter, the enemy is fear. The enemy is hate. The enemy is everyone who looks at someone different and sees a threat instead of a person. His voice hardened. Peter, I've spent my whole life fighting that enemy. And I'm tired. But I'm not done. He turned to face the room, all of them, and made his choice. Peter, I'll stay here. In Volcano City. I'll protect this world, both worlds, from anyone who tries to tear it apart. He looked at Tony. Peter, but I'm not your soldier. I'm not your symbol. I'm not your friendly neighborhood anything. The reckoning. Reed Richards stood, his expression shifting from diplomatic to cold. Reed, you speak of fear and hate, Peter. But you forget, you are not blameless in this. The people you brutalized. The permanent damage you inflicted. Clint Barton may never use that arm again. Scott Summers is blind. Peter, voice like ice, and the room went silent. Reed, and that makes you no better than the villains you claim to oppose. Peter laughed. Not a bitter laugh. Not a broken laugh. A dead laugh. Peter, you want to talk about villains, Reed. You want to talk about crimes against humanity. He stepped toward the Illuminati's side of the table, slowly, deliberately, and every hero in the room tensed. Peter, let's talk about you. He pointed at Reed. Peter, you helped build a machine to erase my powers. To lobotomize me. Because I was inconvenient. Because I was a problem you wanted to solve. Reed opened his mouth. Peter, I'm not done. He turned to Tony. Peter, you, Stark, you seized my company. You handed it to someone else without a trial, without evidence, without asking if I was really the one who'd done those things. Because it was easier to blame me than to admit you'd been fooled. Tony's jaw tightened. Peter, and you. He swept his gaze across the entire Illuminati. Peter, all of you. The so-called heroes who make decisions in the dark and call it protection. His voice rose, not shouting, but carrying, filling the chamber like a thunderhead building pressure. Peter, you sent the Hulk into space. You exiled him to a planet where you knew he might die, because he was inconvenient. Because you were scared of what he might do. He pointed at Black Bolt. Peter, your Inhumans released a cloud that mutilated and killed mutant children, and you did nothing. You watched. You waited. You called it population control. Black Bolt's expression didn't change. But Medusa's did. Peter, an M-Day. His voice dropped, dangerous, quiet. Scarlet Witch. The decimation. Millions of mutants depowered. Suicides. Broken families. A genocide that happened because you failed to handle one of your own. He turned to Professor Xavier. Peter, you, the man who preaches coexistence, while letting your own students become soldiers. Children, Charles, you send children to fight your wars while you sit in your chair and talk about hope. Xavier's face was pale. Peter, and the Illuminati itself, the idiotic group, you've committed more crimes against humanity than most villains have fought. He stood in the center of the room, alone, surrounded by heroes who had once been his allies. Peter, sending Hulk into space. The secret prisons. The weather satellite that targeted innocent people. The lies. The manipulation. The arrogance of believing you have the right to decide who lives and who dies. Silence. Absolute, crushing silence. Peter, for that, for everything you've committed, you deserve to be locked up. His cosmic residue pulsed, faint blue light flickering under his skin. Peter, you deserve the death sentence. The reaction. The room exploded. Tony, standing, face red. Now wait just a minute. Reed, adjusting his glasses, defensive. Peter, you're oversimplifying. Xavier, calm but strained. Those decisions were not made lightly. Chief Cato, slamming his fist on the table. Silence. The room went quiet. The Allosaurus stood, towering, ancient, angry. Chief Cato, you, all of you. He swept his gaze across the Illuminati. I don't know your world. I don't know your laws or your morals or your justifications. But I know justice. And I know that Peter Grimstone, Spider-Person, has done more for my city in a few months than you've done for yours in decades. He pointed a clawed finger at Reed. Chief Cato, you tried to lobotomize a teenager. He pointed at Tony. Chief Cato, you stole his company without evidence. He pointed at Xavier. Chief Cato, you sent children to war. He lowered his hand. Chief Cato, I don't have the authority to sentence you. But if I did, his voice dropped, I'd lock every last one of you in the deepest cell I have. The compromise. Peter stepped forward, between Cato and the Illuminati, and raised a hand. Peter, enough. He looked at Tony, at Reed, at Xavier. Peter, I'm not going to lock you up. I'm not going to kill you. That's not who I am, no matter how much you've hurt me. He let that land. Peter, but I'm not going to forget. And I'm not going to forgive, not until you earn it. He turned to Chief Cato. Peter, here's what's going to happen. The Illuminati will cooperate with Volcano City's government. Full transparency. No secrets. No backroom decisions that affect people who had no say. He turned back to the heroes. Peter, and you will answer for your crimes. Not to me. Not to Cato. To the people. To a real trial, with judges from both worlds. Tony, a trial. You can't be serious. Peter, I'm deadly serious. Stark. You want to call yourselves heroes. Then act like it. Face the consequences of your actions. No more running. No more hiding behind the greater good. He walked back to his seat, sat down, folded his hands. Peter, those are my terms. Take them or leave them. But if you leave them. His eyes hardened. Then you're no better than the villains I've been fighting my whole life. And I'll treat you accordingly. The aftermath, that night. Peter's apartment, 11:47 p.m. His phone buzzed. Stella. What the hell happened in that meeting? People are saying you threatened the Illuminati. Peter. I didn't threaten them. I gave them a choice. Stella. And if they don't choose the trial? Peter. Then I'll make them choose. Stella. You've changed. Peter. I know. Stella. Is that a bad thing? Peter stared at the screen for a long time. Peter. I don't know yet. He put down the phone. Closed his eyes. And for the first time in months, years, he let himself feel. The anger. The grief. The betrayal. And beneath it all, something fragile. Something he'd thought was dead. Hope. Chapter 10. Annoyance. Volcano City, 1 week after the trials. The trials had concluded. 3 weeks of testimony, evidence, and global scrutiny. 3 weeks of watching the so-called greatest heroes of Earth 616 squirm under the weight of their own secrets. Tony Stark had been sentenced to 5 years of supervised probation, confined to the merged city, his technology monitored by a joint Saurian Human Oversight Committee. Reed Richards faced similar restrictions, his laboratory access revoked, his research subject to ethical review by people who weren't afraid to say no to him. Professor Xavier had been forced to step down as head of the Xavier Institute. A new board of governors, half Saurian, half human, now oversaw the school's operations. Others faced harsher consequences. The Illuminati's secret prison network had been exposed. The weather satellite that had targeted innocent civilians, that had been Tony's project, and the evidence was damning. He'd avoided prison by a single vote. Peter didn't care about any of that. He cared about moving on. Volcano City Park, afternoon. The sun was warm. The volcano rumbled softly in the distance, a reminder that nothing was permanent. Peter sat on a bench, hood up, sunglasses on, a cold coffee in his hand, and tried to exist without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Stella sat to his left, feathers bright yellow with contentment, her pterodactyl wings folded behind her like a cloak. Rosa sat to his right, a gentle brachiosaurus whose quiet presence had become comforting. Unexpectedly comforting. Stella, sipping a smoothie. You know, for a guy who threatened the Illuminati, you're surprisingly good at sitting still. Peter, I'm not sitting still. I'm recharging. Rosa, softly, is that what you call it? Peter, that's what I call it. A comfortable silence settled over them. These two, they were different. They didn't want anything from him. Didn't need him to be a hero or a symbol or a weapon. They just were there. Stella, after a moment, you doing okay? Really? Peter considered lying. Peter, no, but I'm better than I was. Rosa, that's something. Peter, yeah, it's something. The arrival. His spider sense pulsed. Not danger. Not exactly. Something else. Something annoying. He looked up, and felt his stomach drop. Walking toward him, across the park, through the merged crowds of Saurians and humans, were the last people he wanted to see. Susan Storm, She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, Jessica Drew, Anya Corazon, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane Watson, and Felicia Hardy. Peter, under his breath, you have got to be kidding me. Stella, following his gaze, feathers flickering orange, who are they? Peter, my past, coming back to haunt me. Rosa, quietly, do you want us to stay? Peter hesitated. Peter, yeah, actually, I do. The confrontation. They stopped a few feet away, 7 women who had once meant something to him. Who had once been something to him. Now they were just strangers. Susan, carefully, Peter. We need to talk. Peter didn't stand, didn't take off his sunglasses. Didn't do anything except take a slow sip of his coffee. Peter, what do you bitches want? The word landed like a slap. Susan blinked. Jessica's jaw tightened. Gwen flinched. MJ, stepping forward, Peter, please, we just want to. Peter, raising a hand, stop. She stopped. Peter, I don't care about your excuses. I don't care about your apologies. I don't care about anything you have to say. Peter, you didn't want me. Susan, that's not. Peter, you didn't want anything to do with me. His voice was flat, exhausted, final. Not when Otto stole my body. Not when the world turned against me. Not when I had nothing left. He stood. Peter, you all decided to leave me. For no apparent reason. Or, he looked at MJ, for another man. MJ's face went pale. Peter, so guess what? I don't care anymore. This is my life now. My world. My people. He gestured to Stella and Rosa. Peter, these two, they've done more for me in a few months than any of you did in years. They didn't abandon me. They didn't cheat on me. They didn't turn their backs when things got hard. MJ, voice cracking, Peter, we're sorry. We didn't mean to. Peter's glare cut her off. Shut up permanently. Peter, quiet, cold, listen here, MJ. You and I were once friends. Once. But now, I don't want anything to do with you. He stepped closer, not threatening, just present. Peter, you cheated on me with a guy named Paul. And look how that's working out for you. MJ's eyes filled with tears. Peter, you and I are done. There's nothing else to discuss. Felicia's mistake. Felicia, stepping forward, arms crossed, angry, so that's it. You're just going to leave us. For these. She gestured dismissively at Stella and Rosa. Felicia, for animals. The park went silent. Peter's cosmic residue surged. He moved before anyone could react, his hand closing around Felicia's throat, squeezing. Felicia, choking, eyes wide, Peter. Peter, voice like crushed stone, say that again. She couldn't. His grip was too tight. Peter, I dare you. Say it again, you damn black cat. He held her there, elevated, struggling, terrified, for 5 long seconds. Then he threw her. Felicia hit the sidewalk hard, sliding, scraping, gasping for air. Peter, standing over her, these animals have done more for me than you ever did. They accepted me. They didn't try to use me or manipulate me or cheat on me. His lenses narrowed. Peter, if you ever talk about them like that again, I'll do more than throw you. The disappointments. Voice, from behind him, Pete. Peter turned. Miles Morales. Juliet Carpenter, Madam Webb. Peter, sighing, oh, great. It's the useless Madam Webb and the disappointment of a student. Miles flinched like he'd been struck. Miles, Pete, I'm just. Peter's cosmic residue exploded. He punched Miles in the face, full power, and the younger spider flew backward, ribs shattering on impact with a tree. He didn't get up. Julia, raising her hands, web shooters ready, Peter, don't. Peter grabbed her by the throat. Squeezed. Peter, quiet, deadly, you want to know my biggest regret. Julia's eyes watered. Peter, it was taking him as my student. Teaching him. Trusting him. He pulled her closer. Peter, only for him to abandon me for Stark. To replace me like I was nothing. His grip tightened. Peter, maybe I should have found someone else. Someone with a good heart. Someone from another universe, someone like this world, who actually cared about people instead of fame. He threw Julia to the ground, punched her in the gut, hard, and she coughed up blood. Peter, standing over her, my name is not Peter Parker anymore. He kicked her, once, twice, and she curled into a ball. Peter, my name is Peter Grimstone. He looked at the broken bodies around him. At the terrified faces of his exes. At the shocked expressions of park goers who had just watched the spider snap. Peter, the ruthless spider person. The departure. He turned to Stella and Rosa. Peter, let's go. They didn't argue. Stella's feathers were gray, fear, concern, something, but she stood and followed. Rosa moved slowly, carefully, like she was walking through a minefield. They left the park in silence. Behind them, Peter's exes stared at the wreckage. What have we done? What did we create? Aunt May. Peter's apartment, evening. He sat on his couch, laptop open, stock market charts glowing, and tried to focus. Numbers. Investments. Growth. He'd made a lot of money in the past few weeks. Not through Parker Industries, that was gone, but through quiet, careful investments. Patents sold under pseudonyms. Consulting work for Saurian tech companies who valued his mind more than his past. Knock, knock, knock. Peter didn't move. Knock, knock, knock. He closed his laptop, walked to the door, opened it. Aunt May. She looked older than he remembered. Smaller. Frail. May. Voice trembling. Peter. Peter. Peter Parker is dead. May. Please. Peter. My name is Peter Grimstone. And I don't have anything to say to you. May, tears forming, I was wrong. About everything. The things I said. Peter, you called me a disappointment. May, I know. Peter, you called me a failure. May, sobbing, I didn't mean. Peter, you meant every word. His voice was ice. Peter, you believed Otto over me. You turned your back on me when I needed you most. You abandoned me, just like everyone else. He stepped back. Peter, so go ahead. Screw yourself. He slammed the door in her face. May stood in the hallway, alone, broken, realizing. Uncle Ben would be so disappointed. In me, not in Peter. In me. The rooftop, that night. Peter sat on the edge of his building, mask off, hood up, cosmic residue pulsing faintly under his skin. Stella landed beside him, wings folding, feathers shifting to a soft blue. Stella, you okay? Peter, no. Stella, yeah, I figured. She sat next to him, close enough to be present, far enough to give him space. Stella, you were scary today. Peter, I know. Stella, but you didn't kill anyone. Peter, I wanted to. Stella, but you didn't. A long silence. Stella, that's the difference between you and them. You know that, right? Between you and the people who hurt you. Peter looked at her. Stella, softly, you could have killed them. All of them. You had the power, the rage, but you didn't. Peter, I broke Miles's ribs. Stella, he'll. Peter, I made Julia cough up blood. Stella, she'll recover. Peter, I threw Felicia like she was nothing. Stella, she shouldn't have called us animals. Peter stared at the merged skyline. Peter, why are you still here? Stella, what do you mean? Peter, after today, after seeing what I am, what I can do, why aren't you running? Stella was quiet for a moment. Stella, because I know what you didn't do. Peter, that's not. Stella, you could have killed Felicia. You didn't. You could have killed Miles. You didn't. You could have killed all of them, and you chose not to. She touched his arm, gently, carefully. Stella, that's not a monster, Peter. That's a man who's been hurt more than anyone should ever be hurt, but who's still choosing to be good. Peter's throat tightened. Stella, Rosa and I, we're not going anywhere. Not because you're perfect, but because you're trying. He didn't cry, but it was close. Peter, thank you, Stella. Stella, that's what friends are for, Vigilante. Chapter 11, A New Apprentice. The Merged City, 3 weeks after the trials. Peter Grimstone swung through the skyline like a ghost. Crimson and navy against the pale morning light, silent, efficient, hunting. The merged city sprawled beneath him. Volcano City's curved architecture intertwined with New York's sharp angles, saurian and human walking streets that hadn't existed 6 months ago. He wasn't patrolling tonight. He was cleaning house. Pure Earth Hideout, Industrial District. The warehouse smelled like sweat, gasoline, and hate. Peter clung to the ceiling, invisible in his suit's camouflage, and listened to the meeting below. Pure Earth speaker. A heavy-set human with a shaved head. The dinosaurs think they can just take our jobs. Our homes. Our women. Murmurs of agreement. Speaker. They're not people. They're animals. And animals need to be put down. Peter's lenses narrowed. He dropped. The fight lasted 47 seconds. Peter moved through them like water through cracks, silent, inevitable, unstoppable. Bones broke. Guns were webbed. Men screamed. And then he saw him. Jonah Jameson. The old journalist, bald, mustached, angry, stood in the corner of the warehouse, clutching a clipboard like a shield. Jameson, spitting, Parker. I knew it. I always knew you were a menace. Peter walked toward him, slowly, deliberately. Peter, Jameson. Jameson, you think this changes anything? You think terrorizing good, honest citizens? Peter, you're working with Pure Earth. Jameson, I'm working with humans. Against the invasion. Peter stopped in front of him. Peter, you're working with terrorists, Jameson. People who beat elderly Saurians in the street. People who burn down schools with children inside. Jameson, jabbing a finger, they're not children. They're. Peter's cosmic residue surged. He didn't mean to do it. But the rage, the decades of rage, erupted from somewhere deep and dark and tired. His hand glowed blue-white. He touched Jameson's chest. And Jonah Jameson ceased to exist. No scream, no blood, no body. Just, gone. Peter stared at the empty space where the man had stood. His hand was still glowing. Peter, quietly. Huh. He didn't feel remorse. That scared him more than anything. The child. Voice. Small, terrified. Please, don't hurt me. Peter turned. A child. A human child, no older than 10, huddled behind a crate, eyes wide, tears streaming down his face. He wore a Pure Earth armband. Someone had armed him. There was a knife in his shaking hand. Peter's rage froze. Peter, kneeling, voice softening, Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. Child. They said you were a monster. Peter, they were wrong about a lot of things. He gently took the knife, set it aside, and helped the child to his feet. Peter, what's your name? Child, Matthew. Peter, Matthew, I'm going to take you somewhere safe. Somewhere with people who won't make you do this. He looked around at the unconscious Pure Earth members, the adults who had brought a child to a terrorist meeting. Peter, to himself, using children. His fists clenched. Peter, I'm going to make sure every single one of them pays. The aftermath, police station. Chief Cato watched as Peter delivered the Pure Earth members, and Matthew, into protective custody. Chief Cato, Jameson. Peter, gone. Chief Cato, raising an eyebrow, gone how? Peter, gone. The Allosaurus studied him for a long moment. Chief Cato, I'm not going to ask questions I don't want the answer to. Peter, appreciate that. Chief Cato, the child. Peter, his parents were in Pure Earth. They brought him to the meeting. Cato's claws scraped his desk. Chief Cato, we'll find him a proper home. Somewhere safe. Peter, I want updates. Chief Cato, you'll get them. Peter turned to leave. Chief Cato, Grimstone. Peter paused. Chief Cato, you did good tonight. But, be careful. The cosmic residue, it's changing you. Peter, I know. He walked out into the night. Rosa's garden, the next day. Peter needed to breathe. Rosa's house was on the edge of the merged city, a small cottage wrapped in vines and flowers, where the volcano's shadow met New York's morning light. She was an ankylosaurus, broad, gentle, her armored plates catching the sunlight like stained glass. Her garden was her sanctuary. And somehow, she'd made it his sanctuary too. Rosa, watering a row of marigolds, you're quiet today. Peter, kneeling in the dirt, planting seedlings, I erased someone from existence last night. Rosa's watering can paused. Rosa, oh, Peter, he was a bad person. A monster. But, he stared at his hands. I didn't feel anything. That's what scares me. Rosa set down the watering can, knelt beside him, and gently took his hands in her clawed ones. Rosa, the fact that it scares you, that means you're still you. Peter, what if I'm not? Rosa, softly, then we'll help you find yourself again. She guided his hands back to the soil. Rosa, now, these seedlings need kindness and patience, just like someone else I know. Peter almost smiled. Peter, you're comparing me to plants. Rosa, plants are resilient. They survive harsh winters, poor soil, neglect. But with the right care. She gestured to her garden, lush, vibrant, alive. They become something beautiful. Peter looked at the seedlings. Peter, what are these? Rosa, grimstones. Peter, looking up, what? Rosa, smiling, I named them after you. They're a hybrid, cross between a desert rose and a volcanic orchid. Tough, adaptable, impossible to kill. Peter stared at the tiny green shoots. Something warm flickered in his chest. Peter, thank you, Rosa. Rosa, that's what friends are for, sensei. Peter, don't call me that. Rosa, chuckling, would you prefer spider person? Peter, I'd prefer Peter. Rosa, okay, Peter. She patted his shoulder. Now finish planting. These won't grow themselves. Stella's anime night. Stella's apartment, that evening. Stella was a stegosaurus, green-scaled, warm-eyed, her back plates shifting colors with her mood. Right now, they were a contented orange. Stella, stabbing a pillow, I can't believe he did that. Peter, sitting on her couch, eating takeout, it's just an anime, Stella. Stella, just an anime. He betrayed his best friend for power. Peter, it's a metaphor for. Stella, I don't care about metaphors. Peter chuckled. An actual chuckle. Stella froze, stared at him, and her plates shifted to a surprised pink. Stella, did you just laugh? Peter, I've been known to, on rare occasions. Stella, that's the first time I've heard you do that. Peter, shrugging, maybe I'm relaxing. Stella, grinning, it's about time, Grimstone. She threw a pillow at his head. He caught it without looking. Stella, show off. Peter, always. The rooftop, midnight. Peter sat on the edge of his building, mask off, hood up, cosmic residue pulsing faintly, and stared at the stars. Two worlds, merged into one. Two lives, colliding. Two versions of himself, the man who was and the man he was becoming. Voice, from behind him, hey. Should I call you Spider-Man or Spider-Person? Peter turned. A man hovered in the air, 10 feet off the rooftop, arms crossed, gravity warping faintly around his silhouette. He wore a suit similar to a certain villain Peter remembered. Black and silver. A cape that moved like it had a mind of its own. But his eyes were kind. Peter, standing slowly, Graviton. Graviton. Landing softly, the one and only. Well, he shrugged. The heroic one, anyway. Multiverse is weird. Peter studied him. His spider sense was quiet. Not warning. Not danger. Just curiosity. Peter, I met a Graviton in my world. He was a villain. Graviton. Wincing, yeah, that's awkward. I've heard about him. Franklin Hall, right. Bit of a nutcase. Peter, understatement. Graviton. Extending a hand, I'm Liam. Liam Caleb. And I'm a big fan of your work. Peter didn't shake. Peter, what do you want? Liam dropped his hand, not offended, just understanding. Liam, fair question. Direct answer, I want you to train me. Peter's eyebrows rose. Liam, I've seen what you can do. The way you fight. The way you think. The way you protect people, even when they don't deserve it. He stepped closer, earnest, open. Liam, I have powers. Gravity manipulation. Pretty strong ones, actually. But I don't have purpose. Not yet. Peter, and you think I can give you that? Liam, I think you're the only person in this merged reality who understands what it means to carry power without letting it corrupt you. Peter was quiet for a long moment. Peter, you know what I've done. What I am. Liam, I know what you've survived. I've done my research. Otto Octavius. The body theft. The heroes who turned their backs. Peter's jaw tightened. Liam, I've seen the footage of the merge. The way you fought, the way you didn't kill anyone, even when you had every right to. Peter, I erased Jameson last night. Liam blinked. Liam, oh. Peter, I didn't mean to. The cosmic residue, it just happened. He was there, and then he wasn't. Liam, was he a good man? Peter, no. Liam, then maybe the universe did everyone a favor. Peter stared at him. Liam, quickly, not that I'm advocating, look, I'm not perfect. I'm not even sure I'm good. But I want to try. And I think, I hope, you can help me try better. The decision. Peter turned away, looked out at the merged city. Liam, Graviton. A hero, not a villain. He thought about Miles. About the betrayal. About the years of training, of trust, thrown away like garbage. This could be another mistake. Another disappointment. Another back waiting for a knife. But his spider sense was still quiet. And when he closed his eyes and focused, really focused, he could feel Liam's intentions. Pure, earnest, hungry, not for fame, but for purpose. Peter, turning back, all right. Liam, eyes widening, really. Peter, you'll be my apprentice. But, his voice hardened. If you do anything horrible. If you act arrogant. If you try to stab me in the back. Liam swallowed. Liam, understood, sensei. Peter, don't call me that. Liam, what should I call you? Peter thought about it. Peter, Grimstone, or Spider-Person, or just Peter, if we're off the clock. Liam, grinning, okay, Peter. Peter almost smiled. Almost. The partnership begins. Training ground, abandoned warehouse district, the next day. Liam had power. Peter watched him manipulate gravity, lifting cars, crushing debris, floating like the laws of physics were merely suggestions. But power without control was just chaos. Peter, you're overcompensating. Liam, lowering a wrecked vehicle, what do you mean? Peter, You're using too much force. You're trying to overwhelm the problem instead of solving it. He walked toward Liam, calm, unhurried. Peter, gravity isn't about strength. It's about balance. Push too hard, and everything collapses. Pull too soft, and nothing moves. Liam, so what do I do? Peter, you feel. He tapped Liam's chest. Peter, gravity isn't outside you. It's in you. The same force that holds planets together is flowing through your veins. Liam's eyes widened. Peter, stop trying to control it. Start trying to understand it. Liam closed his eyes, took a breath, and reached. The debris around them lifted. Not with force, with intention. Gently. Precisely. Beautifully. Peter nodded. Peter, better. Liam, opening his eyes, grinning, that felt different. Peter, that's because it was different. Remember that feeling. Hold on to it. He turned, walked toward a stack of broken concrete. Peter, now do it again. 100 times. Until it becomes instinct. Liam, groaning, 100. Peter, glancing back, you wanted to be trained. This is training. Liam, I thought training would be more cool. Peter, training is boring. Training is repetitive. Training is doing the same thing over and over until your body remembers when your mind forgets. He crossed his arms. Peter, now. Again. Liam sighed, then smiled. Liam, yes, sensei. Peter, what did I say about calling me that? Liam, already lifting debris, not to do it. Peter, and yet you keep doing it. Liam, maybe I'm training you to accept it. Peter shook his head. But he was smiling. Just a little. Meanwhile, Miles Morales. Volcano City, apartment. Miles sat on his bed, phone in hand, screen showing footage of Peter training the new graviton. Miles, quietly, he replaced me. Gwen sat beside him, hand on his shoulder. Gwen, Miles, no, he set down the phone. I deserve it. I abandoned him. When he needed me most, I believed the lies. I told him to stay away. Gwen, you were manipulated. We all were. Miles, that doesn't change what I did. He stared at the ceiling. Miles, he has a new apprentice now. Someone who actually deserves his trust. Gwen, softly, maybe you can earn it back. Someday. Miles, maybe, but his voice was hollow. Someday. If ever. The new duo. Volcano City, rooftop, sunset. Peter and Liam stood side by side, looking out at the merged city. Liam, so, what now? Peter, now we protect this city. Both worlds. Everyone who needs help. Liam, that's a big job. Peter, it is. Liam, you think we're up for it? Peter looked at his new apprentice, at the earnest eyes, the pure heart, the potential. Peter, I think, we have to try. Liam nodded. Liam, together. Peter extended his hand. Peter, together. Liam shook it. And in that moment, on that rooftop, in that merged world of dinosaurs and humans, of heroes and villains, something new was born. Not a replacement for what was lost, but a beginning. Chapter 12, The Molten King. The merged city, 2 days after the new apprentice. For the first time in months, Peter Grimstone felt something dangerously close to peace. He swung through the city each morning with Liam at his side, graviton floating beside him like a second shadow, gravity warping just enough to keep pace. They took down small-time criminals together. Drug rings, muggers, the usual. But Liam helped. So did Kane. So did Ben, the clones who weren't clones anymore, just brothers. Peter found himself spending evenings with them. No masks, no missions, just pizza and silence and the quiet understanding of people who'd been through hell. He considered Liam a brother now. That surprised him. The warehouse. Peter's spider sense screamed at 3:47 p.m. He was walking home from school, hood up, backpack slung over one shoulder, when the hair on his neck stood straight. Not a typical warning, not a mugger or a pure earth ambush. This was different. He texted Liam, warehouse district. Now. Then he changed. The arrival. The warehouse was abandoned, corrugated metal, shattered windows, the smell of rust and old rain. But the air shimmered. Heat rippled from the walls like a fever dream. Liam landed beside him, cape settling. Liam, what are we dealing with? Peter, I don't know yet. They stepped inside, and the temperature jumped 40 degrees. The Molten King. He stood in the center of the warehouse, not saurian, not human, not any metahuman Peter had ever seen. His body was cracked magma, orange and red pulsing beneath blackened skin like a volcano given human form. Eyes like cooling coals, smoke curling from his mouth with every breath. Peter, quietly, Molten King, I'm guessing. Molten King, voice like grinding stone, you're perceptive. I appreciate that. Liam raised his hands, gravity already bending. Liam, you want to explain why you're here, or should we skip to the part where I put you through the floor? The Molten King hummed. Deep. Amused. Molten King. Eager. Impulsive. You remind me of myself, before I learned patience. Peter stepped forward, hand out, stopping Liam. Peter, what do you want? The test. The Molten King didn't answer with words. He moved. Lava erupted from his palms, not at Liam, but at Peter. A whip of molten rock, fast and precise. Peter dodged, barely. His spider sense had warned him, but the heat was wrong. It clung to the air, made his lenses fog. Liam responded instantly, gravity wave slamming the Molten King into the floor. Concrete cracked. Dust exploded. The Molten King laughed. Molten King, good. Both of you. He rose from the crater, unharmed, and pulled. The ceiling's metal supports groaned, twisted, melted into liquid projectiles. Peter, Liam, shield. Liam threw up a gravity barrier just in time. Molten metal splashed against it like water against glass. Peter launched himself forward, cosmic residue flaring blue-white, and punched. The Molten King took it right in the jaw, and smiled. The conversation. Molten King, not fighting back, just standing, interesting. Very interesting. Peter, panting, why aren't you? Molten King, fighting seriously. Because I'm not here to fight. Liam, hovering, ready, then why the hell are you here? The Molten King's flames dimmed. Just slightly. Just enough to show the person beneath the power. Molten King, I've watched you, Peter Grimstone. The struggles you've endured. The betrayals. The way the world turns its back on its own protector. Peter's jaw tightened. Molten King, and yet you keep going. Do you know how rare that is? How many people with your power would have burned it all down by now? Peter, is this a recruitment speech? Because I've heard them before. Molten King, shaking his head, I don't want to recruit you. I don't want to fight you. I wanted to test you. Liam, test us for what? Molten King, to see if you were worthy. Peter, worthy of what? The Molten King was quiet for a long moment. The heat in the room faded. The cracks in his skin dimmed from orange to deep red. Molten King, there are things in this merged world that even I fear. Ancient things. Sleeping things. And when they wake. He looked directly at Peter. You'll need more than cosmic residue and good intentions. Peter, then help us. Don't just test us. Molten King, almost smiling, I'm not a hero, spider person. I'm an anti-hero at best. I don't save people. I just clear the board when no one else will. Liam, that's not an answer. Molten King, it's the only one I have. He stepped back, into the shadows, and his body began to dissolve into embers. Peter, wait. Molten King, fading, you passed, by the way. Both of you, for what it's worth. Peter, past what? The Molten King's eyes glowed one last time. Molten King, the test of whether you'd choose vengeance over protection. You didn't. That matters more than you know. And then he was gone. The aftermath, rooftop. Peter and Liam sat on the edge of a building, silent, processing. Liam, so, that happened. Peter, staring at his hands, he knew things. About me. About what I've been through. Liam, he's been watching you. Peter, that's not comforting. Liam, was he lying? About the ancient things. Peter was quiet. Peter, I don't think so. He stood up, pulled his mask back on. Peter, we need to be ready. Whatever's coming, it's bigger than pure Earth. Bigger than the merge. Liam, how do you know? Peter looked out at the city, at the volcano in the distance, smoke curling lazily toward the sky. Peter, because my spider sense hasn't stopped tingling since he left. Meanwhile, Miles Morales. Miles watched the footage, security cam from the warehouse, hacked and looped. He'd been following Peter from a distance. Not stalking. Just watching. Making sure he was okay. The Molten King. Miles didn't recognize him, but he recognized the look in Peter's eyes at the end of the fight. Not fear. Determination. Miles. Quietly, he's getting stronger. Gwen. From the doorway, is that a bad thing? Miles. No. But it means whatever's coming, he's going to face it alone. Gwen. He has Liam now. Miles. Clenching his fists, he had me. Gwen sat beside him, said nothing. Just let the silence sit. Because some things didn't need words. Some things just needed time. Chapter 13, A New Beginning. 1 month after the Molten King. Peter Grimstone stood in front of a building that hadn't existed 3 weeks ago. Glass and steel. Clean lines. A logo on the front, 2 overlapping circles, blue and white, like a planet orbiting a star. Cyber Industries. Below it, in smaller letters, technology to uplift, not to destroy. Peter stared at his reflection in the glass. For the first time in years. He smiled. The fall of Stark Industries. It had happened slowly, then all at once. Tony Stark, Tony Stank, as the internet had lovingly renamed him after his very public, very humiliating bankruptcy hearing, had lost everything. Bad investments. Lawsuits from Ultron victims. The merge had wiped out half his overseas assets. And when Stark Industries fell, it fell. Peter, to Liam, weeks ago, I'm not celebrating. But I'm not crying either. Liam, that's fair. The guy did try to kill you that one time. Peter, which time? Liam, fair point. Building something new. Cyber Industries wasn't Peter Industries. It wasn't about ego. It wasn't about putting his name on a building. It was about utility. The mission. Clean energy for the merged city's poorest districts. Prosthetics for Saurians and humans who'd lost limbs in the merge. Environmental restoration tech, scrubbing pollution from both worlds. Gadgets for police officers that didn't have kill switches or backdoors. Peter, at the launch press conference, we're not here to sell weapons. We're not here to become the next Stark Industries. We're here to help. A reporter raised her hand. Reporter, what about self-defense? The world is dangerous now. Peter, then we'll build shields. Not swords. The motto became the company's backbone. Knowledge should never become a weapon against the powerless. The team. Peter didn't build Cyber Industries alone. Liam handled logistics, his gravity powers made construction almost effortless. Moving steel beams. Lifting debris. He joked that he was the world's most overqualified forklift. Stella, the stegosaurus with the color-shifting plates, ran the environmental division. Her knowledge of Saurian ecology, combined with human engineering, created air purifiers that actually worked. Rosa advised on community outreach. Her garden had become a symbol, something beautiful growing from broken ground. She helped Peter remember that technology meant nothing if it didn't serve people. And Kane and Ben, they handled security. Not because Peter didn't trust the police, but because he knew how fast things could go wrong. Shield's end. Maria Hill had tried to keep it together. But without Nick Fury, without funding, without the Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D. crumbled. Peter, to Hill, during the transfer, your equipment, your tech, your files, give them to the people who actually need them. Hill, tired, defeated, the police aren't equipped to handle S.H.I.E.L.D. level threats. Peter, then we'll equip them. And he did. Cyber Industries partnered with the NYPD, the Saurian Guard, and every local precinct that wanted help. Body armor, communication systems, non-lethal capture tools. The new task force was called Stryker. Not spies, not soldiers. Protectors. The first real smile. Rosa noticed it first. She was watering her Grimstone flowers, the hybrids she'd named after Peter, when he walked into her garden. Not in costume, just Peter. Jeans, a hoodie, coffee in hand. Rosa, without looking up, you're different today. Peter, different how? Rosa, setting down the watering can, you're not carrying the world on your shoulders. Peter sat on the bench beside her. Peter, maybe I finally put some of it down. Rosa looked at him, really looked. His posture was looser. His eyes weren't as hollow. The cosmic residue still pulsed faintly beneath his skin, but it wasn't raging anymore. Rosa, you're smiling. Peter, touching his face, surprised, huh? I guess I am. Rosa, it suits you. Peter, don't get used to it. But he didn't stop smiling. Not for a long time. Meanwhile, Miles watched the Cyber Industries launch from his apartment. Gwen sat beside him, eating cereal straight from the box. Gwen, you could work for him, you know. Miles, he wouldn't want me there. Gwen, have you asked? Miles was quiet. Gwen, gently, you're not going to earn his trust back by hiding, Miles. Miles, I know. He set down his phone. Miles, I don't know if I deserve it. Gwen, that's not your call to make. Miles stared at the ceiling. Miles, then what is my call? Gwen, whether you try. Miles didn't answer. But that night, he started drafting a message. He didn't send it, but he started. The bigger picture. Peter stood on the roof of Cyber Industries, mask off, wind in his hair, and looked at the merged city. Volcano City's curved spires, New York's sharp angles, saurian and human walking streets that, a year ago, had been war zones. Liam floated up beside him. Liam, you did good, Peter. Peter, we did good. Liam, what's next? Peter thought about it. The Molten King's warning echoed in the back of his mind. Ancient things. Sleeping things. But for now, there was peace. Peter, next, we keep building. Keep helping. Keep protecting. Liam, that's a lifetime of work. Peter, I know. Liam, grinning, good thing you've got me, then. Peter almost laughed. Almost. Peter, don't make me regret this. Liam, too late. I'm already planning my corner office. Peter shook his head, but he was still smiling. Epilogue. Happiness forever. 5 years later, Peter Grimstone stood at the altar. Not in costume. Not in the shadows. Just Peter. A simple black suit. A small smile that had become less rare over the years. And across from him, Stella. Her stegosaurus plates shifted through a cascade of colors, pink, gold, soft lavender, as she held his hands in her clawed ones. Her green scales caught the afternoon light filtering through Rosa's garden. Rosa officiated. Rosa, tears in her eyes, we are gathered here today to celebrate something I never thought I'd see. Peter, quietly, Rosa. Rosa, Peter Grimstone happy. Laughter rippled through the small crowd. Liam, Kane, Ben, Deadpool, who was miraculously behaving himself. A few Saurians Peter had saved over the years. A few humans who'd seen him at his worst and stayed anyway. Rosa, do you, Peter, take Stella to be your partner? In chaos. In peace. In the quiet mornings and the impossible nights. Peter looked at Stella. Really looked. Peter, I do. Stella's plates shifted to deep, contented purple. Rosa, laughing, I married 3 other couples last month. The city recognizes it. That's good enough for me. More laughter. Stella turned back to Peter. Stella, I take you, Peter. Your darkness and your light. Your cosmic residue and your terrible cooking. Peter, my cooking isn't that bad. Liam, from the crowd, you burned water last week. Peter, the stove was malfunctioning. Stella, squeezing his hands, I'd take you anyway. Rosa, then by the power invested in me by, honestly, no one official. I pronounce you married. Stella kissed him, and for the first time in Peter Grimstone's long, brutal, exhausting life, he felt whole. The passing of the mantle. 3 months after the wedding, Peter sat Liam down in Rosa's garden. The Grimstone flowers had spread, covering the entire yard now. Tough, adaptable, impossible to kill. Peter, I'm done. Liam, freezing, done how? Peter, done as Spider Person. Done with the patrols. Done with the wars. Liam, Peter, you're ready, Liam. You've been ready for years. Liam's throat tightened. Liam, I'm not. I can't be you. Peter, I'm not asking you to be me. I'm asking you to be better than me. Liam hugged him. Peter stiffened for a moment, old habits, then hugged back. Liam, muffled, I'm going to miss you out there. Peter, I'm not going anywhere. I'll just be retired. Liam, pulling back, wiping his eyes, retired. At 30-something. Peter, it's been a long 30-something years. The brothers Grimstone. Ben and Kane Parker, now legally Grimstone, stood beside Liam at the announcement. They'd been Peter's shadows for years. Not clones anymore. Not outcasts. Family. Ben, so we're just taking over. Peter, you're helping Liam. You're a team now. Kane, crossing his arms, and what are you going to do? Peter, looking toward the cottage where Stella was making dinner, I'm going to live. Kane almost smiled. Kane, about damn time. New life. Months passed. And then, Stella gave birth to twins. A boy and a girl. The boy had human features, Peter's dark hair, Stella's warm eyes. The girl had saurian traits, soft green scales, tiny plates along her spine that would grow as she aged. Peter held them both, one in each arm, and for a long time, he didn't say anything. Stella, from the bed, exhausted but radiant. Peter, you're crying. Peter, voice breaking, I'm not. Stella, you absolutely are. Peter, it's allergies. Stella, it's the middle of winter. Peter, pollen. Stella laughed, weak but happy. Stella, what are we naming them? Peter looked at his son. Then his daughter. Peter, Benjamin, after Ben. Stella, and her. Peter, May. Stella, softly, May Grimstone. Peter, yeah. He kissed May's forehead, then Benjamin's. Peter, you're never going to know the pain I knew. I'm going to make sure of that. The X's. Across the city, in a luxury apartment that felt emptier than it should have. Felicia Hardy stared at the wedding announcement on her phone. Peter Grimstone marries Stella Saurian in private ceremony. She threw her phone across the room. Felicia, unbelievable. She'd had chances. More than one. And she'd thrown them away for thrills, for games, for the chase. And now he was gone. Across town, in a different apartment. Mary Jane Watson looked at the same announcement. She didn't throw her phone. She just cried. Quietly. Bitterly. She'd had everything. And she'd let Otto Octavius, a copy of Peter, destroy it. She'd believed the lies. She'd turned her back. And now he was married to a dinosaur. She laughed through her tears. MJ, I deserve this. She wasn't wrong. Deadpool's chaos. Somewhere in the merged city. Deadpool kicked down a door. Deadpool, hello, terrorists. A group of pure Earth remnants screamed. Deadpool, okay, first of all, disrespectful. Second of all, he pulled out his katanas. You tried to blow up a school yesterday. Bad form. Very bad form. The fight lasted 43 seconds. Deadpool, wiping his blades on a curtain, and that's why you don't mess with children. He pulled out his phone, texted Peter a selfie with the unconscious terrorists. Deadpool, miss you, buddy. Come visit sometime. Bring the kids. I promise not to teach them bad words. Peter's reply came 3 minutes later. Peter, I'll believe that when I see it. Deadpool, fair. The final scene. Peter sat on the porch of the cottage, Rose's old house, left to him in her will. She'd passed peacefully the year before, surrounded by flowers and family. He watched the sunset over the merged city. Volcano City's silhouette, New York's skyline, saurian and human lights flickering on as night fell. Stella sat beside him, Benjamin asleep on her chest, May in a bassinet between them. Stella, happy. Peter thought about it, really thought about it. The cosmic residue was still there, faint now, quiet. A reminder of what he'd been. What he'd survived. But it didn't